G'day, guys, and welcome to Tales from the Undertaker. I am your host, Michael, from Ask A Pathfinder, and here with me today is, of course, my ever-star-studded cast from Color Circuit. Hey, guys, what's up?
Hello.
Hey.
All right, guys, and as always, we do start our introduction with a recap of last week from, of course, the mouth of our favorite NPC. But first of all, I did want to say that we do have a new cast member with us today. This is, of course, Madison. Hi, Madison.
Hello.
Are you excited for today? I mean, this is obviously your first debut into Tales from the Undertaker.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous. Hopefully, I don't
Nervous?
mess anything up.
Oh, good. I can play with that. Nerves are amazing in this game. You can actually watch as confident people become cowards, nervous people become heroes. That is what I love about horror games. So let's get straight to it. And for that, of course, we go to the Undertaker. Greetings and salutations. I am the Undertaker, keeper of the dead. Well, one more dead anyway. Alas, poor Raylan. Well, no matter. The group is now head into the deep and dark forest in front of them. They will find that more than one people will die along the way, and well, there is one down. You will find that the last time we met these crazy and insane people that walk through this land, they were trying to, well, get to Castle Corvershaw, a large castle where hopefully some work will raise their reputation and allow people to, well, know exactly what they're about. First of all, they came upon a giant wagon filled with food that they were supposed to deliver to to Castle Corvershaw that was being guarded by a giant weasel and a basilisk. Yet the group managed to prevail. It wasn't until they were ambushed by a troop of vicious orcs that, well, we lost poor Raylan. It was a good thing I took those measurements, too. I think she'll really like the pine box I made for her, though I'm not entirely sure if she'll fit in the whole thing now. Perhaps I should get a shoebox or something. Well, let me ponder that, and I'll allow you to return to your story. Wish them luck. I know I'm not going to.
Does
All right.
the Undertaker have a coffin that's like in between regular person size and kid/halfling size?
Yeah, no, it's the regular person size. It's just got a glove box. You just sort of... All right. Oh, the jokes, they're flying. All right. So, guys, yeah, that was the Undertaker. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The orc stands before you, the blood of Raylan dripping from his hands as he clenches her head swinging, dangling in the wind. As he throws it to the ground, it falls at your feet. You can scarcely believe the sight that befell you. Yeah, now it is currently, I believe, Darby's turn.
No, Raylan. And I'm gonna take out. Darby's gonna take out his supercharged alchemist fire and throw it at the guy.
Okay. Pulling out this slightly vibrating, really bright glowing bottle from his jacket, Darby throws it with all his might.
Does an 18 hit?
And with an 18, smashes the bottle on his face, engulfing him in a large and powerful burst of fire.
Alright. Yes. So he is going to take 12 fire damage.
And with that, the large orc falls to his knees, leans on his hand, starts breathing heavily. We then move to Khalil. The orc looks at you enraged, barely able to move.
Khalil stands up, fucking walks over to him and tries to swing at his neck to decapitate him.
Swinging at his neck, you find the only resistance is the soft and leathery flesh of the orc's neck as it slices through, cutting him down where he, kneels. There is no mercy in Khalil's eye this day. As the wind grows cold and the field grows silent, there is a moment of sheer disbelief at the loss of your companion. Do you guys want to say anything?
I'm not feeding our horse.
Khalil walks up to Raylan's body and kneels before her and is trying to hold himself together, but I'm sorry, Raylan. Guys,
Little tears.
what do we do?
Well,
I fucked up.
it is really sad, but I still think we should probably get you guys this potion so you don't die too.
Yes, I'm just glad that everything turned out okay. That she's alright, and we're okay. That everything turned out fine.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that I'm glad it was very close. I mean, I thought she was really hurt there for a second.
I wanna dig Raylan a grave.
Why?
Okay.
Why would you dig her grave? That makes no sense.
She's dead, Joel.
No, she's not dead. She's clearly fine. Geralt picks up her body and is like, "Look, see, she's
Stop.
fine.
Put her down.
She's fine.
Put her down, Geralt.
Oh, calm down. Everything's fine."
All right, for those of you at home who may possibly have missed the first few episodes, shame on you. And also, Geralt is suffering from a madness where he immediately forgets any corpse that he sees straight away. So yeah, he doesn't perceive it as being a corpse, or he perceives as the corpse simply not existing. Whatever the case may be, it's one of the many afflictions he's suffering. As you begin to dig your grave, one of the horses walks over to Raylan's body. It is, of course, the princess. Princess sort of walks over to the body and sort of kneels into the grass and sort of sits by her with, its head lying on the ground, trying to get to eye level with it.
I want to walk up and Cleo does and pat her on the head and said, "I'm sorry, princess."
You do so. All right, you spend the rest of the day, because this is obviously sort of late afternoonish. You spend the rest of the day burying the body. Does anyone want to say a eulogy type thing? Kind words? Nope.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I brought you out here, and I was supposed to protect you and lead you, and I failed. And Raylan's dead now. I know you might not get that, but she's gone.
Yeah, she really took off. She just ran for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen again. I promise. You were more than we deserved as someone on our team, Raylan. You were bright and a little crazy and stingy about your stupid horse.
And our tent.
In your tent.
Oh, that tent!
A lot of cold nights. You saved me and them more than anyone has so far, and I owe you more than I'll ever get to repay. And in your God's name, rest in peace.
I will always remember that Raylan was very generous with everyone but us.
She was, yes.
That is an accurate statement. Especially animals.
Definitely animals. All right. With your kind words having been said, you begin to get ready to take your leave.
Don't
You
we need
notice
to make
that. Oh, sorry, go on.
Don't we need to
Oh yeah, we gotta do our
harvest
potion thing.
the
Bloodborne.
Bloodbjorn to make them their antidote that the soothsayer told us to cure their mummy rot?
Yes, you gather up your like a few doses of the Bloodbjorn, and you follow the witch's instructions to the letter. Who remembers what they were?
We have to repeat some words and then stab a dagger into our heart.
Yes, we have to.
But we don't have the words.
No, we do not have the words.
Well, that's an interesting development.
We were supposed to have the words.
We were supposed to have the
We
word.
did
Yeah,
get the
because
words from her.
I didn't write them down either. So guess what? Like, unless one of you go now and watch the episode from yesterday, and then like remember the words, then well, you're stuck.
I can't do that.
Or you could just make something up, and then I'll pretend like you know the words. Actually, you know what? I'll do this way. Make a wisdom check.
Not good.
17.
Yeah, your character remembers the words with a 17. That's fine.
Okay, so I'll make the thing, and then uka laka shuka haka duka stab.
I don't. Think
I'm pretty sure that's racist. You also remember that you're supposed to do it at a full moon and not in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, so no, not in the evening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
And now the full moon. Uh-oh. Okay. Yes, you need to wait till the height of the full moon. Yes. But obviously it is not necessarily safe to sleep in a place that enrages people. So you try to make your move
Yes.
to kind of get away from the plants that, the orcs are clearly using to kind of go berserk. But as you do, you notice that Princess is not moving. Like she sits by the grave and she seems to just lie there.
I'll go and take off her bags and all the stuff that's on her, that's holding her.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just pat her to let her know that she's done.
Oh, I'm going to take Raylan's tent.
Oh, yes. Also, does she have any food or anything?
All right, you bury her with most of her belongings, but the sundry and obviously rather consumable things you take with you, potions, food,
Gold.
gold. You probably leave her 2 gold to kind of like passage to the Underdark, etc.
Yeah.
Or the underworld or whatever. The tent, etc. Yeah, that's all fine. All right, so yeah, so she's asked you to look after the horse. Is anyone doing anything besides stripping it? All right, so all right. I like that guy. Who is he? We should listen to him. What an amazing
Horse?
voice.
What do you mean?
What's that?
What'd you ask?
Are we gonna do anything with the horse?
I don't want to do anything. I think Princess is good to go.
I'll leave it a little bit of food, and then I'm gonna leave.
Do you need to leave the horse food? Doesn't it just eat grass?
Just like a treat, I guess. Its master died. Have a heart.
All right.
As I'm packing her tent away.
How you monster? It's all soaked
Okay.
in
Probably
blood.
her food.
All right. You leave the horse to whatever its devices, and you begin to make your way back onto the road. You spend the night in a restless sleep, hearing the sickening crunch of Raylan's neck snapping in the glove of the giant orc. It is you guys do not have a good and pleasant night. But around midnight, you awaken and you perform the ritual. Now, each of you, Geralt, do you also take part in the ritual?
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. You head outside and you can see the moon at its full height. You grab the paste that you have made from the Bloodborne plant and you ingest it before you draw out your weapon, which for one of you is a sword and the other is a jagged bone.
Ah!
It's like, yeah, you're both killed, but Geralt, you have sepsis. Okay, so both of you take 2 points of constitution damage as you plunge the blade into your hearts. This also goes with a minus 3 to each of your max hit points.
Yeah.
And you are now cured of your mummy rot.
Mine's at 12.
Khalil?
We're healed of the mummy rot?
Yes, your ability score damage is still like a problem and you'll need to heal it, but you are no longer dying from mummy rot.
So I take 3 to my minus to my total constitution?
No. You take 2 damage to your constitution.
From where
Which
I was or from where I'm going to be after I'm healed?
No, this doesn't heal the mummy
Yeah, it
rot.
doesn't. It just stops it.
It
from
stops
getting
it.
worse.
Like, you're not going to get any worse, but
Oh,
it
shit.
doesn't give you...
Correct. Yep.
Are you at, like, 2 constitution or something?
Ooh, I'm at 3 constitution.
3 constitution.
And I was already at 1 hit point before I took that constitution damage.
Oh well, you would have healed up beforehand as well, I assume. Yeah.
We did a long rest.
Yeah. So
before.
you would have gained at least 3 hit. You would have gained at least 3 hit points. So that's fine. You're on 1 hit point again. You also take a -1 further to your constitution. So yeah, to your fortitude saves because of the constitution drain. Okay.
That's okay.
So,
Raylan can just use... Oh.
Yeah, it's too
Burn.
bad she left.
I had a scroll. Just a rules question, DM.
Mhm.
I used
Yep.
that scroll of resurrection. Does that mean that like it's gone, or can I still?
it is gone.
Okay. Well.
All right. So, the day breaks. You awaken. Geralt and Khalil both have like this giant like sort of band-aid over where their heart is. Feeling sore, tired, weary, our adventurers continue down the road. As they do so, they're enjoying a light breakfast of dried meats and fruits. When they can see up ahead, there appears to be another wagon. Of course, remembering, of course, that you guys are dragging your own wagon behind you. This wagon, however, in front of you seems to be on its side, and standing, sort of trying to wave you down, is, I'll let Madison describe what you see.
Okay, so I am sitting there next to the wagon. The wagon's wheel is broken, and basically I'm just this little thing, and you just want to help me. What more do I say?
More your physical description. What do you actually look like?
Okay, so I'm small, a little chubby. I am a druid, and let's see, what did I go with? Just for my appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my hair kind of looks like Radagast from The Hobbit. Just very messy with a bunch of sticks and beads in it. So kind of, hippie looking. And I am a half elf as well. Anything else?
Okay. No, that's it. So, yes, as she says, she appears to be in some sort of peril because her wagon has, in fact, broken down. The wheel had come completely off and the axle has been snapped. She seems to have a backpack and carries... what exactly do you carry in terms of weaponry or anything like that?
The gauntlet with the blades on it.
Yes, on her hip she seems to have a kind of like a gladiatorial type weapon, which is called a cestus. It basically fits like brass knuckles, except it has 3 prongs. So she kind of looks like she's a bit of a scrapper. You know, Geralt sort of takes note of that as a oh yeah,
All right. All
not
right.
bad. All right, what do you do as you approach?
I kind of wave them down, seem frantic.
There's a lot of broken carts on this road.
That's an unfortunate.
Yes, this seems to be a very bad road for carting.
Help.
Well, admittedly, you found your broken cart off the road and in a cave.
Yeah, we're fun.
It was still broken, probably on the road. Let us take
sure,
note of that.
I'm sure. Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, can you fix my wagon?
I think we could probably try and help. Yes.
I don't know anything about fixing wagons.
Oh, no.
Where are you headed?
You know, I don't even know, I'm lost.
Oh,
You're
that's a
lost.
problem.
Yeah.
Where are you guys going?
We're going to Castle.
Yes,
Corvishaw.
we need to go back and
Castle
probably retrieve our carts.
Yeah,
Corvishaw.
we're headed to Castle Corvishaw. I mean, we can't really turn around. I mean, if you need help, we can help you on the way there, and you can get maybe another cart. I don't know if I can fix yours with what we have.
I'm looking for a certain plant.
Oh. Okay.
Are you?
Yeah.
What
That's,
plants are you looking for?
That's strange.
I forgot the name of this plant. Michael, do you remember?
It is called Panacea.
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 This herb that is gonna cure me. I'm sick, you see.
Oh. What are you sick
Is that
with?
why you're by yourself? Is it contagious?
It is not contagious, but this herb will cure me. And it's like cancer, but more mystical, really.
Have I heard
Mystical
about this
cancer.
plant?
Every now and then, like when you go for an MRI, it goes abracadabra.
Got mystical cancer.
That's terrible. These are terrible jokes. I do apologize to people in the audience. Let's gloss over it. Carry on.
Can Darby make a check to see if he knows about that plant?
Knowledge history.
Okay.
Can
Not
I also-
not nature?
Can I ask? So is my max HP down from 11 to 10 now that I dropped another point?
Assuming
How many points do I drop per loss of Constitution for my max?
per lost constitution is equal to your hit die. So your hit die is currently 3. So
Yes.
each con you lose, each con modifier you lose, you would lose 3 from your max, your original max.
Okay.
We can't roll on knowledge checks if we're not trained in them, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So I don't know.
It's knowledge history, you said? Or nature?
Knowledge history?
He said history.
Oh.
I know nature. I don't know history.
That's a 15 for history.
Okay. You know Panacea as a how can I put it? It's kind of like this. It's a legend. It's supposed to be a cure-all herb that no matter what disease, what affliction, what ailment you have, simply one leaf from this mysterious plant would cure any and all afflictions, diseases, poisons. It's even rumored to basically restore missing limbs and the like. Some say that it's even used in the very, very elusive immortality potion known as the Sun Orchid Elixir, which is a very famous thing. Like there's a huge bidding war as it is over this very prized elixir. But yeah, Panacea is rumored to be one of the components of it.
Is Panacea, is it like a super, like, it's kind of like iffy if people know if it exists or not?
Yeah, people don't really know if it exists or not. No one's really managed to find any or cultivate it, or at least publicly.
You're looking for the Panacea plant?
I am. All my life I've been told that this is a real thing, and this is the only hope I have.
That's exciting.
Well, we will definitely do our best to help you find it.
Well, Miss, I'm sorry. Well, I'm Darby. What was your name?
Yeah.
Sorora.
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 We are heading to the castle to also look for, probably for some restorative magics for my. I mean, as you can see, my friend here is not doing well at all.
They look awful.
Him especially, right?
Yeah. Like,
Jesus.
what's with that Band-Aid on your heart?
It's a long story.
I find it really funny that my character is talking about how bad they look.
There is some irony.
But like a demon.
No.
All right, as you guys are meeting and sort of canoodling with this individual, you guys can make me a perception check, please.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Gerald's got a 14.
Darby got 17.
Okay. Is that everyone?
Roll.
I feel like I didn't get everyone.
Do I have to do one too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
10.
What's your? Do you have?
Oh yeah, and you should have a
Okay.
modifier for your
I
perception.
do.
Oh, you are not trained in perception.
Oh, I'm not actually 0.
But you do get
You
plus
can
1.
Plus 1.
So
So
you're at
11.
11.
11. Okay, so those of you who got over 15, you can hear some rustling in the bushes as 3 bony skeletons covered in gore and viscera lunge out and seem to be attacking the wagon
Fuck.
and Sora along with it. Roll initiative.
There's something else. It's too late.
It's the same one.
Yeah, and you'll have your initiative modifier too. So
Your
if you
initiative
look for
modifier
that.
is just your dex modifier.
Yeah.
Or
14.
Initiative or you
other
said dex?
things.
Yes.
And yeah, you can look at either one.
There's some other things. that can add to it.
Modifier.
It's
I have
initiative.
+4.
Go back up.
Scroll
Scroll. See, initiative is right there.
Okay.
So,
So 2.
yeah, what's your? So you have a dex of 14.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yes,
Scroll.
oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you get +2 to whatever you roll.
Did the 10. I got 10 again. So 12.
All right.
Darby got a 19 initiative.
Gerald got a 14.
And Khalil, in Khalil's style, rolled a 3. I'm never going to go first.
All right. So 19 was Darby.
That's mine too.
I guess mine's
14.
only 2. So
Mine was +3, but now
14
I get
for
-2.
Gerald, yeah, and 3 for
Gerald.
Khalil.
12
I wasn't
for
+3 initiative.
Sonora and 3 for.
I was, but now I'm a +1 because
All right.
my status effect from watching Raylan die makes me have -2 initiative.
Oh, great.
So because this situation has suddenly gotten so stressful, we sorry, I do have to apologize to the audience because I did done goof. Darby does not have schizophrenia like it says in my notes.
Thank God.
He actually contracted melancholy last week, so that's a thing.
I mean, everything sucks.
Yeah, basically everything sucks.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has really changed except now he doesn't get benefits from morale bonuses. All right, the skeletons move over to Sorora, one of which grabs her by the arm and sort of he's grappled.
Okay.
It looks as though it's gearing up to sort of bite her neck.
Oh.
Can I slash?
Vampire skeleton.
Wait, can I
Oh.
go now?
Well, you can on your turn.
It's attacking you.
The other skeletons move over to the rest of the group. So 2 move over to Geralt and Khalil, and 1 has headed over to Darby. Darby, it is your turn.
Okay. So there's one right in front of me.
There is one right in front of you.
Yeah. I'm going to drink my shock shield potion and just I'm going to also pull out my crossbow just to have it ready, but I'll drink the potion and have my crossbow.
All right. Yep, pulling out your crossbow and chugging on your potion, a small force field of lightning crackles around you, creating a tiny barrier inches away from your flesh. We then go to Geralt.
All right.
You can see directly in front of you are 2 skeletons.
Okay, Geralt is going to go at them with his Brawler's Flurry.
Yep,
Flurry.
you'll 5-foot step forward. You're now within range of one of the skeletons, and you unleash a flurry of attacks with your fists.
Okay, 9, 12, 15 for the first one. And then 19 for the second.
Okay, 19 will definitely hit. Let me just double check the skeleton. Okay, and 15 will not hit.
Dang. All right. Oh, wait, actually, it was a 13 anyways. It was a 13 and a 17. I forgot to do the -2.
Ah, well, 17 will hit, 13 will not.
Okay. All right. So I do. Let's see here, 7. Oh wait, sorry. 9 points of damage.
One of them crumples to the ground. As we then move to Sorora.
There's 4 skeletons.
No,
There's 3.
There are 3 now.
One's got
One is grabbing you, one is in front of Darby, and the last is in front of Khalil.
Okay. Am I allowed to try to slice the skeleton's hand off of me?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You quickly put your hand by your side, and your cestus goes on. You see the shining claws on one of on one of your fists. Make your attack as you swing down to try and cut yourself free.
Okay.
So you'll roll a d20.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you'll add your base attack bonus to that.
13 base attack bonus.
And actually, does she add anything else for that?
It would be your base attack bonus plus your strength.
It's scroll back up. It says BAB.
Oh, 2.
2, and then you also add your strength. So scroll up a little bit
that
more.
was
1. So you add 3.
16.
With a 16, you will certainly hit. Roll your damage as your blade slices through its arm.
I don't know what dice.
Yeah, so that'll be on in your gear. Remember we added that melee weapon?
Oh, in gear? Is that down?
Or not in the gear, sorry, but there's like the melee attack.
Yeah, go back up a little bit, I think.
Look at these guys being all helpful and stuff.
Right here, melee.
Yeah, Cestus. Oh, it doesn't have anything written
I
down.
don't think we have.
Oh
that.
crap. We
Cestus-
didn't write it Oops.
I'm guessing Cestus.
Well,
1 minute.
Sit with that.
It's a D6, right?
I think it's a d6, yeah.
Cestus is a D4.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so
So-
should I add that in somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
to
I'm guessing
damage.
you add your strength modifier.
Correct.
So for damage, I put 4.
It's a D4. So you roll this
Okay.
and add your strength modifier.
I'm so confused right now.
It's that plus 1.
It's plus 1.
Okay, so 1 and then
You got a 2.
a 2, so
So
3.
3.
All right, so 3 points of damage. You crack it in the arm, and again, this one seems to sort of look at you for a moment and then crumple under your attack.
Damn.
Okay.
Wow, these things are weak.
I always waste my potions.
All right, we then go to Khalil.
Right, taking note of the fact that everyone's just fucking falling on hit. I'm just gonna swing at this one with my sword.
All right, you swing your blade.
There's a 6.
You rolled a 1. No, a 6 doesn't hit, Khalil. He watches everyone else down one. And he's like, I got this. I can do this.
Crack the skeleton at all.
He doesn't even.
No, he completely missed it.
Okay.
All right. Does Khalil say anything?
No.
Okay. The skeletons. One skeleton attacks Darby with 2 attacks. Now, does the shock shield activate at this point?
Well, it's always just active. It just gives me a +2 bonus to AC, and then I can dismiss it anytime as a free action to do a D6 electricity damage to everything around me, including me.
Yep.
All right. Well, do you want? Let me know when you want to, if you want to do that. First strike will hit. Second strike will not.
Okay.
It will deal 1 million damage. No.
1 million.
I think you died.
I think you're dead.
And there's a giant crater.
Okay, here we go. Claw is 1d4. 2. Okay. You take 2 points of damage as it scratches you in the face. The one in front of Khalil reaches down its side and pulls up, like literally rips out part of its femur and tries to stab you in the head with it.
Remember, guys, Khalil is fucked up right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're like pretty much dead.
All right, 14 to hit. I don't think that hits.
If it matches my AC, does the defender win?
No.
Then I get it.
It hits you. It hits your team.
All right, he hits you. Somehow he hits you in the face. You take 3 points of damage.
You're unconscious.
Out.
All right. As he gets slashed in the face, he falls to the ground unconscious. The skeleton is hopping on one leg, sort of with its other leg in the air, like cheering. Okay.
It's like, yay, I did a thing.
Darby, you're up next.
The skeleton could.
Darby, you're up.
Darby is going to try to shoot the one that just downed Khalil with his crossbow.
Okay, make your attack.
Uh, 22.
That will most certainly hit.
And then it takes 8 crossbow bolt damage.
8 damage, which it falls apart.
Cool. And then as a free action, I'll dismiss my shield to do damage to the one next to me.
Okie dokie.
Me and him both take 4 electric damage, but I have 5 damage resistance to fire, electricity, and...
yeah, he doesn't have electricity resistance, and he goes down as well. Darby decisively ending the battle with the explosion of electricity as the skeletons collapse.
No more people will die. Shove a potion down his throat.
Come here.
Hold on, wait. Before Darby does that, Sorora, would you like to do something before Darby gets off his horse and uses one of his precious resources?
I was going to use the stabilizer spell to Is Khalil dying or is he just passed out?
Oh, he's definitely dying.
Currently
Okay,
dying.
well then I'll stabilize him.
All right. So leaning over, you see Sorora basically snap her fingers, and instantly Khalil stops bleeding, and his the open wound on his chest just sort of heals up a bit.
That's useful.
Yeah, I wish I could use it on myself. Seeing as I'm
It would be hard to do.
Yeah.
Yes, that is unfortunate.
He's still unconscious and does require hit points.
Hey, big guy, do you think you can load him up onto our cart until he wakes up?
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. This is my cart?
No, we have a cart too.
Oh, you guys have a cart? Cart party?
Actually, do we?
Yeah, they have a
we
cart filled with food.
Huh?
Your cart's no good.
Oh.
Your cart's done.
So we just
Yes,
leave my
you'll
cart?
have to join in on our cards.
Oh,
So whoa, our cards. Thank you very much.
So my cart.
I love the fact that she just instantly assumed that they were going on her cart. Like my cart has no wheel, the axle's broken. We're taking mine, right? Your ride's crap.
I thought we were fixing my cart.
It's a normal
Oh.
heal. Khalil is at 0 HP.
I don't have a way to heal you.
Someone does.
Yeah.
Unless, did you say whenever you were talking about the potions, were you talking about my potion or just like?
No, I more meant. Okay, let me try and be as subtle as any Australian can. Oh no! If only there was some sort of half elf that had cure light wounds and
Okay.
a capable of healing hit
I'll
points.
do that. Here's 118
Oh, wow.
damage. Plus 1. Oh, that's just. Oh,
Yes.
So no, it's actually. Wouldn't it be plus 3?
It would be +3. So 1d8 +3. Sorora leans down over Khalil
7?
and heals
You heal 10.
Damn, nice.
You're welcome.
10 hit points. Beautiful.
Very nice.
Very nice. Oh, this is wonderful. We have a healer again.
It's very convenient.
It's very convenient since Raylin ran off into the woods the other day.
Well, technically speaking, she never said that she wanted to join you. She just wanted you to fix a cart. So, cool your horses, gents. But
What
we'll
I
find
mean
out.
is, I'm glad that she's here right
All
now
I just
to
said
heal
was
us.
that it
Are
was
you
convenient that.
kidnapping me?
No, I just meant that it was convenient that you were there to heal him. Otherwise, we would just have to drag him.
This is becoming very awkward.
Just very awkward conversation. All right, Khalil, you awaken and see the very beautiful Sorora standing over you with bright white light, over her hands as she has healed you.
Whenever you first wake up, you see Raylan.
Oh!
Oh man!
You're like, Raylin. Oh.
And then you see a Radagast looking person.
You can heal.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not very okay right now.
Yeah.
I took a little bit of a
Do you
beating.
have any other
Um,
any like getting rid of diseases or anything like that?
I think she would have used that on her horrible disease if
Well,
she had that.
Not yet.
I mean,
Anyway.
there's different level of
Not that I
diseases.
know of.
Oh, that's true.
the flower you're looking for. Do you need know if it's nearby or?
I have a
Darby
feeling-
could probably tell you that it's a myth.
No.
Chances are this thing doesn't exist.
I don't believe any of you. I think it's in the castle that you guys are going
There's
to.
spirit there, yeah.
Okay. Well, you can come with us and try to find it.
Yeah.
We need to get them
Sora.
healed anyway.
We'll help get you to the castle. By the way, we're a group of sweepers. I don't know if we told you that. We're actually going to the castle for a mission.
I mean, maybe after you're not
Dead.
dead.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm fine. I'll get through it. We're going to the castle. You can come with us. That's where we have to go right now.
Yes, with the Twin Peak guards.
After that, we can help you maybe find something. I don't know. You helped save us, or helped us in that fight, so.
Yeah.
I mean, she technically really only saved you.
Oh, that's
But
true.
Sure, you can
She
come
saved
with
you,
us.
not us.
I still have to win them over.
All right. Well, I'll get this right one day. Sorora, what do you say to their proposal to take you to Castle Corvishaw along with their wagon filled with food and their mystery mission?
I have nothing better to do.
What happened to your wagon? Why did it break?
Well, I was just driving along and I hit something. It seemed to be a skull that was just in the middle of the road.
We have been killing a lot of things lately in this area, so...
And there was that whole, like, rush of undead army coming through.
Oh,
Does that
yes.
mean-
My wheels weren't very, sturdy.
You ran over a skull.
I
Yep.
ran over a skull.
Pro tip: never build your wagon out of balsa wood.
Wow.
Okay.
I kind of,
All right.
found this wagon.
Hey Shane, will you turn up the gain on the mic?
What's that?
Oh, we're just asking the editor to boost our levels a little bit.
Okay. Hi, Eddie. Who let him out? Quick, someone get the cage.
He's back. He's back.
Hello, testing? Is that better?
Wait till he gets his headphones on.
Oh, yeah. Test. Noise and such.
Ladies and gentlemen, this technical difficulty is brought to you by Color Circuit. Not Ask A Pathfinder, just letting you know that. Under the bus with you. Okay, so yes, you gather up your new companion and begin to continue your way to Castle Corvishaw. All right. After your long journey across Varno's dreary forest landscape, you arrive at the outskirts of a small town seated at the edge of a crystal clear lake. The other side of the lake stands a tall, towering, and looming castle that casts a shadow over the landscape. This place is known as, was once upon a time, Corsinoria Palace, which once in its opulent era housed luxurious balls and celebrations which would ring through the countryside. However, the more recent Lord of Corsoriana is none other than the vampire Count Tyriak, who has been an absent lord in his lands. The castle itself claimed to be haunted and a home and denizen for other vampires, but otherwise it's adopted its new name as simply Castle Corvishaw. Now, at this point, you are approaching the small and quaint village. And as you get closer, you notice that the village is more than what it seems. Apart from the main center structure of the town, which is, a tavern, blacksmith, that kind of thing, you actually see the outskirts is a cornucopia of large, vibrant, luxurious, and colored tents created in a sort of a high-fashion shanty town that sits along its edge. The road that you are traveling will take you through the shanty town, through the town itself, around the lake, and up towards the castle itself. So your path before you is entirely up to you as you approach. So where would you like to go?
He has a tent. We could blend in.
How do you know I have a tent?
You keep talking about your tent.
It's true, you do mention that tent quite often.
Darby, we need to find someone to heal me and Gerald a little bit at least.
I agree.
I could use some constitution healing.
We definitely should find people who can maybe restore you to your.
I want to. We're going to. We have to go to the shanty town. It's like an order, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, kind of.
Well, you don't have to. You can pass through the shanty town without exploring it. Same thing. You can pass through the town without exploring it.
Okay.
Really, I'll just give you. It's the difference between you going in and having a good sticky beak, or if you're just sort of walking along the road.
I want to, the first person that looks kind of happy and friendful, I want to ask if there's like a healer.
Okay.
All right. Roll a perception check as you pass through the shanty town.
10 for Gerald.
Nice.
20.
20?
What's your perception?
10 for
Which I
Khalil.
think is just +1
That's fine. Sorora.
on your skills.
I mean, she rolled a 20. I think she's okay.
Perception
Yeah.
+1.
Yeah.
Sorora, you happen to see towards the edge of town, sort of a little bit of a distance away from the other shacks, there is actually a large group of what appear to be soldiers. Because I should probably describe this town first. As you approach the shanty town, you can see that each of the different colors represent a different flag that is being flung in a particular district within the shanty town. Each bearing a symbol of a lord or lady from the Principality of Ustalav. These are apparently the house insignias of the various people that run the nation itself. Towards the back of it, as it were, appears to be a mass gathering of guards, each wearing the heraldry of their own town. Of course, like I said, there are so many of them. There's like red ones, blue ones, yellow ones, green ones, purple ones, etc. And the only place that they're all congregated is around this one small spot that appears to be a campfire of some kind. And you can just hear this boisterous laughing coming from within, this deep booming. If you guys know who Brian Blessed is, it kind of sounds like Brian Blessed.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's go.
None of you know who Brian Blessed is, do you?
No, none of us.
All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the audience and you know who Brian Blessed is, leave a comment showing your disdain for the fact that they do not know one of the greatest and most vibrant actors in Britain. I love Brian Blessed. He's awesome. If I have the honor of having Brian Blessed watch me do this, I do apologize because I can't even remotely sound like you, but but I'll give it a go. Let me just get this. Blop, 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 blop. Okay, here we go. All right. You hear? So, do you guys approach the fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go check
Are you
it out.
approaching
Sure.
on horseback, or are you getting off and walking down?
Getting off. And
We'll
walking.
get off and is
Well-
there like a place that people have hitched horses or no?
Yeah, a couple of places. It's very easy to find a place to hitch your horse.
Okay.
Okay, so as you approach, you hear this large voice. And that's when I stabbed him in the throat. Yes. Oh, it was a glorious battle. Oh, the small bunny didn't know what was coming. And you hear everyone laughing and cheering and stuff like that. Oh, and did I tell you the time that I found the giant of Groknekvar? Oh, it was such a beast. It came down from the mountains one day and tried to make away with my wife. I didn't have a bar of that. Wrestled him down with nothing but a fruit knife, I did. Ha 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 ha.
Wow.
And you just hear this roaring
You could
laughter.
really use something like that, right?
I have a feeling he's lying about most of this.
Hello, sir.
You sort of push your way through the crowd, and on the other side, you see someone who all of you know, either by name or by portrait. It's this huge, and I mean huge man, of a large towering stature. His name is Rogif Lakok. Yarlok? That's what I'm going to say. Rogif Yarlok. Big, burly, rotund person. I'll send an image to the Eddie Tor so that he can send a picture of it.
Yay.
Okay, here you go, Eddie.
If
Thank you
Khalil's
for your-
pushing his way
thank you for your
forward,
patience.
Darby's
There you go.
definitely gonna stay
All right.
towards the back of the crowd.
All right. So,
Drell's gonna push his way through too.
I will go with them and push my way through.
okay, you push your way through trying to get close to this man. Now, this man is well known because, number one, he is a very famous werewolf hunter, and has earned his reputation, very rightly so, from many hunts over the many years that he has been operating in Ustalav. There you go. That's the individual right there. The second thing you know is that he is in fact also the man who is basically responsible for one of the districts, specifically Lozeri, which if we look at the Ustalav map,
Sorry, district.
Lozeri is.
His name is.
Lozeri is.
Werewolf hunter.
Okay, you see. How can I put it? Okay, could I just have the map back real quick, Eddie? Thank you. All right. So if you look on the map, there is a. If you look central north, there's a giant forest there, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Can you see it? Yep. So that is the Shudderwoods. Shudderwoods is very well known for how many lycanthropes are there, including there's actually a lodge that dedicates itself to hunting werewolves. Like, people do it like almost like a holiday sport. There are many different tribes of werewolves and stuff like that, and that is the region that this man is currently in charge of. So yes, he's very happy. He's very jovial. He's, very lovely individual. Thank you, Eddie. We can go back to the other picture now. All right. Some of you have pushed forward. Some of you have stayed back. What do you wish to say to this individual?
Hi. How are you?
Oh, hello. Yes, take a seat and have some veal. And he literally throws what looks like a deer leg at you.
Well, Cleo's kind of not in shape right now, so I think it kind of knocks him back.
All right, you sort of grab it, and you're sort of winded from grabbing it. I mean, your strength is still fine, so you can catch it, but you're like, ooh. It's like, oh boy, it looks like you need some meat on your bones. Here, have another. And he sort of throws another leg. He's literally got this massive pile of deer meat. And he's like, and the fire is just roasting more meat. And he's like, and you see people sort of taking plates of meat from it and sort of listening to his stories.
Hi, my name's Khalil. How are you?
Oh, I am fantastic. I love everything. This is a wonderful celebration. Truth be told, I'd rather spend the day out here with you fine people than have to go into that stuffy castle. And you hear the other guards go, "Way!"
Yay. This is Drawl next to me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'll take one of those deer legs. That would be fantastic. Also, do you happen to have any meat or anything?
and he sort of gestures to a wagon. Sort of they sort of brings it over, and there's this immense barrel of mead. He basically jumps up onto the top, and you hear the crowd start going rah 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 as he steps up, and he's like, "We just finished the last barrel, but they love it when I open them this way." And they're all cheering, and there's this kind of silence and this sort of little drum roll as they as he smashes the barrel with his head, bursting it open, and everyone's like, "Way!" And then they, sort of start handing out pints of mead. And he jumps down.
Geralt kind of has a tear rolling down his eye because he's never seen anything so beautiful, and he just kind of wipes it away. And he of course grabs as much meat as he can.
My name is Khalil once again. I am the leader of the Howland Agency. We're a group of sweepers who've come into town to assist with some things. we're a little beat up, and I was wondering if you knew of a healer or a medic or someone like that. Good one.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Where are my manners? If you're injured, there's people at the tent. As a medical tent, but I think that's only for the lords. If you want to get some healing, I'd try maybe the castle, or in town. Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Well, let's head to the town, shall we? Actually, I might want to drink a little bit more, but then town, whatever, or just continue drinking.
Or
Okay.
The castle.
While those two are
Maybe the
interacting
castle.
with the
But the
with
drinking's the
the
important
large, yeah. While these two are interacting with the large individual, Sorora and Darby, you are approached by a person in a female person in white robes with a veil across her face. Without saying anything, she sort of comes up to Sorora and sort of gently brushes her cheek. And she sort of looks at you. She's very, very fine makeup, very, very ornate kind of sort of glitter. Sort of, you know what they do with the glitter stuff? You know, that kind of weird. I don't know. I don't speak makeup, so like glitter and stuff.
Highlight.
That's yeah. There you go. Got like the.
There you go.
You know what? Yeah. All right. So anyway, there's highlights in her, and she sort of looks at you and she says, "You are very beautiful."
I kind of snarl at her and kind of back away.
She sort of bows at you, and she sort of scowls at Darby, and she sort of hands you a small purple envelope. She sort of like leans it out to you, whether or not you take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, and with that, she sort of bows and she sort of wanders away. She kind of looks again at Darby with like this scowl, and then just sort of leaves.
I'll match her scowl for scowl, man.
Yeah.
Me too.
Scowl off. roll it. Roll a d20.
Roll a scowl.
Roll the scowl check.
3.
Actually, you know what I was actually doing? I was gonna say you scowl better if your charisma's lower. And yeah, you've outscowled her. You've completely outscowled her. She has been properly scowled. All right. So, yep, you have a letter in your palm. It smells like lavender perfume.
Okay, can I open it?
You do so. It reads, "You have been cordially invited to attend a small pre-party encounter with Lady something by the Countess." Sorry, I actually do have a lot of names on here because there are a lot of people at this shanty town. Bishop, this guy. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, now you'll understand why the name is. Yeah, you have been cordially invited to attend a pre-banquet party at the tent of Countess Solosmina Venakadahali.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Alright, I'm
right.
not gonna write that down.
She is the representative of Ardil. It is a masquerade party, and only the most beautiful people are invited. And you have received an invite.
Darby's just like peeking over her shoulder, trying to read it too.
Yeah, you read it, unless she stops it.
No, I'll let you read it.
Was that a friend of yours?
No, not at all.
What about this Countess? What's it?
No, I have no idea who any of these people are.
You can make a knowledge local to know who she is. She's not necessarily as well known as, say, the
Werewolf?
Rogif.
Rogif.
Hunter.
I don't think. Do you have knowledge local? Is that one of your training skills?
Knowledge is one of those ones you have to be trained in
Local,
to
no.
check.
Yeah.
Nope. Right.
Yeah, you got knowledge, history, planes, and religion.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to go to the party unless I can sneak everyone else in.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
don't be too hasty. I don't like parties, so if I don't have to go, even better. But if you can get in, and she's a countess, maybe she can help us.
But we're not there, so we don't know.
Yeah,
So-
we have no idea
Well-
this is happening.
Well, don't forget, you also have a deadline for the to meet with the guard captain to try and get that quest while you're here.
Yeah. Also, we forgot to cut off those orc heads. There's a reward for orc heads.
Oh crap!
Oh no.
You journey back along the road for another whole.
Also, do we have the food and everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we
In our
need to
cart.
be taking that to the castle.
Yeah. We'll
Where
go.
is the carriage?
I'm
With
just
our
waiting
horses?
for you to get done drinking, which I don't know why I'm waiting, because we're never gonna be done drinking.
Yeah, we're gonna be here all
Cleo is kind of
tomorrow.
awkwardly trying to socialize with a bunch of big, burly men, but he's like not a drinker, so. Well, we're all running around getting wasted.
Yeah,
Okay,
Gerald
so-
is
so we have
definitely
to go
just
back?
still getting wasted.
We have to go back.
No, we don't need to go back.
Okay.
We need to corral him
Corral him.
and
Corral.
Haha, good luck!
I hand him the note.
Hey, Geralt, guess what?
he can't read.
There's a.
What is this? I don't understand.
Let me see.
Smell it. Smell it.
There's this note. It says there's way more booze at the castle. Like so very like all
Yeah.
the best mead.
All the and it's with the captain, the captain.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do like talking to fellow soldiers.
Yes, mead and money. Let's go.
Oh,
You
I
can
like all
swap
of
your
those things,
you can
especially
swap-
the meads.
you
The
can
mead,
swap
and the
stories.
mead. I like those.
You can stop stories with him about how when you used to be a guard.
Oh yes, I like this idea. Let's go to the castle. Let's go to this party thing.
The vampire castle or the party castle?
Vampire.
I think it's the same
I think
thing.
that's the same castle.
Okay.
Do you have a thing about vampire Sora?
No, I'm fine with them.
Well, all right. I mean, as long as they're not drinking my blood, I'm okay.
I have a question.
Mm.
Is the werewolf hunter, is he a vampire?
No, he is a human.
Okay.
Just a very big one.
Good.
Is he a werewolf?
Oh.
Also, no.
Roll a perception check.
It'd be like a Blade situation, but with werewolves.
Okay.
He is Brian Blessed.
So we're gonna make our
Which
way back to the card and go to the castle, I guess.
Yes, and then maybe we should go to this party. We should check out this party thing with that Princess Wagga 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 Wagga.
We have to make you guys beautiful to get in.
Or you could
We'll
just go.
we'll pull a Mulan and put on the makeup.
Aren't you guys both deathly ill?
Yeah.
I'm actually okay.
He's not bad, but I'm pretty sure you coughed up one of your lungs.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he coughed up like a kidney or something.
He definitely did. All right. So you're making your way to the castle.
Yes.
Yes. We will find
Very
the
well.
guard.
You begin to make your way through the shanty town and through the main village. The village, you can see, is actually also kind of filled with guards as well. These are the off-duty guards. They seem to be a little bit rowdy. You know what I mean? But other than that, they are, simply going about their day-to-day lives. You see very few townsfolk, but you can see that there's definitely an air of kind of misery because of, obviously how hustling and bustling it is. You continue along the road until you arrive at a very large gate. This gate, there appears to be a man in a tuxedo who seems to see you coming with a very large wagon filled with food. He says, can I help you?
Yes, we are returning some goods that I believe you lost.
Yes. Well, I believe deliveries are around the back. You will need to follow the trail down this way and return it there.
Can I, just cause, can I, sense motive?
Yeah.
That is a 25.
Yeah, he works here, Khalil. He's telling you where to go deliver it.
Okay. He's gonna drive us to the lake.
I don't know what you were looking for,
He
man.
was hoping to catch the trap that you had set, where he was just gonna, like, his friends are waiting to jump us.
all these other men in these really high fashion tuxedos. Aha! We are the dandies, pirate bandits that are after your half chewed on food.
Sounds legit.
Our years of planning have come into fruition. Okay, so following the directions given, you make your way down a rather hidden path towards what appears to be a servant's entrance. There is no guards, so you simply walk into the castle area, and over to where the kitchen is, or at least the docking area for where it would behind the kitchen. You can hear screaming and shouting coming from within. Shortly afterwards, a dwarf man, who is a chef, walks out. He seems to have some sort of dead poultry, a large cleaver, and he just sort of looks really, really cross. And there he is. All right. And he says, "You flippin' idiots! I swear to God, if I have to deal with another one of you, I am going to chop my own hand off, and I'm going to feed it to the queen herself!" And he sort of drags it, and then he sort of pulls out what appears to be like a stick of cinnamon, sticks it in his mouth, and pulls out like a welding torch, and God Almighty! You! What are you doing?
Hi.
Get away.
Hi! Yeah, I can say hi too. That's not answering my question now, is it?
We have stuff for you. Well, we
Do you
found
do?
a lost...
Please
Well, I got
excuse him.
something
We've
for you if
got,
you
we've
don't
got
start
your
shooting
cart of
straight to me.
crap on the road.
Oh, you bought the wagon.
Yeah, we got the wagon for you.
Fantastic. He sort of steps up onto it, and he has a look at it. That's all shite now.
We still brought it back, and there was a reward for that, I believe.
He sort of turns to you. He doesn't threaten you, but you notice that he hasn't, like, his grip on his meat cleaver hasn't gone from, like, being at an 11 since he started talking to you. It's just tight-ass grip on this big cleaver, and he just sort of looks at you really kind of sternly, and he goes, "Fine, how much was it?"
I mean, you have the book.
Oh, yeah.
I'll flip through the book.
All right, you flip through the book. You look at the wanted ad, and according to that, it was a grand total of... You guys have skipped ahead. No, there we go. All right. A grand total of, I believe... And none of you ate from the wagon, did you?
No.
Okay. A ring of sustenance and 500 gold pieces each.
Nice.
I believe a ring of sustenance and 5 gold pieces each.
Just point to it.
If you want to check.
All right, fine. Yeah, take the bloomin' things. And he sort of hands you each even Sorora. Everyone gets a ring of sustenance. Basically, while wearing this ring, you no longer require food and drink.
Hey.
I'll put that on.
And 500 gold pieces. He says, "All right, well, what, you're looking for a hug? Get out of here. Unless you know how to cook. and can replace some of the idiots in my kitchen?
Actually, we're also coming here for another mission.
I don't think he's in charge of that.
Can you help guide us to the guard of the captains?
The captain of the guards?
Yes.
The captain of the guards? Well, why don't you go up the front entrance with all the hoity-toity wankers? And get out of my sight! Before I chop you and put you in a pie!
That would be very gross pie. Thank you.
It was.
I'd feed it to the dogs!
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
I agree. I like that guy.
I'm sure.
He sort of grizzles and grumbles and goes back to work. And he says, "Oh, you! Come and unload this wagon or I'll have you!" And, he just carries on working.
His feet were so disgusting.
He wasn't wearing shoes.
Ugh.
He was not. He had very hairy feet. Incredibly hairy feet. All right. Well, having received your reward, you make your way to the front entrance. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. I guess this is your lucky day. You got.
All right. As you make your way to the front entrance, because now you have to kind of walk,
A ring assistant.
you sort of find that the path is very easily concealed, and you sort of like move through. As you do, you notice that there is another wagon that has arrived, and the guy at the front is like very it's so good to have you here. Thank you for being our guests. Please enjoy your stay. Yeah, he's very pandering, very postulatory. We'll take care of the wagon. Fear not. The guard captain is inside and he is awaiting you. Most certainly. Thank you so much for coming.
Wait.
And no, not to you guys.
No, I'm saying that from a distance.
Yep. Out of the wagon steps the Helsing.
Ooh.
Arthur stepping out first, followed by Ogrim, followed by Evelyn, followed by Valentine, and last but not least, stepping out, you kind of see this metal arm sort of grab hold of one of the sides of the wagon door, and stepping out is a very familiar face, and that is, of course, Rosenvale, who is sporting not only a shiny new jacket, but 2 clockwork mechanical hands.
Oh.
Which he is.
Nice.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah. There was this guy we ran into a while ago. That's him. He had his arms cut off somehow. He was a cool guy. I
He
liked
helped
him.
us survive the undead army.
Alright. While the rest of them go in, this particular individual actually notices you. And he waves.
Hello.
Oh, how's it going, lads? Oh, you didn't think I'd see you here. You made it.
We
Sort of walks up to you guys.
we did, yeah.
Yes.
How are you?
Oh, well, doing as well as I could be.
I like
Got an
your
itchy
new
trigger
hands.
finger, but just can't seem to scratch it.
Woo! Good one. I like that
Listen-
joke.
Thank you. Well, listen, fellas. I heard that about what happened, and I'm terribly sorry. I thought maybe they wouldn't be so scrutinizing, but Valentine's a bit of a wanker, that one.
He's tough.
I mean, he was kind of a dick.
He's tough.
He was kind of a dick. we must admit that.
And he sort of looks at Sorora and goes, "Hey, you weren't a half elf before."
What?
Oh.
Do I know you?
Sadly,
Well, actually, you were a half elf. You're a different half elf. You're like
Raylan.
you sort of just.
Raylan got killed
fell.
by some
Oh.
orcs.
She ran off into the forest.
She ran off into the forest and was killed by some orcs. All right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Rosenvale Helsing, of the Helsings. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine. Are you going to the party?
Well, we're security at the party, and I assume you're here for the same reason, I guess.
Yes, actually.
Kind of. Actually, she was invited to the party, which is pretty cool, I guess.
Well, listen, the Helsing, we're kind of on a different mission to what the guards are, and because we're friends, I'm going to share something with you, right? Lean in close. I'm going to say this only once. So, you know who the Helsing are, right? We're hunters.
Yes.
You know what kind of things we hunt, right?
Yes, I think I'm catching your drift here.
Is it vampires?
We hunt undead, vampires included.
Hmm.
Now, the fact that this is obviously the home of one of the most notorious vampires in the lands, it begs the question why they decided that in order to provide security, they wanted to find, hunters like us. Listen, even though the others might not think much of you at the moment, I saw what you did at Carrion Hill. You know, it doesn't take it. Just no one can walk out of there the way you guys did. So just keep your head on a swivel, because I reckon there's going to be something bigger that's going to happen. Something that isn't going to involve any kind of vampire or some sort of boogeyman. And I reckon it'll be up to you guys to step up to the plate, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll keep
By
an
the
eye-
way, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, are you two dying?
I
You look
think he's dying a
really-
little more than I am.
You look
I'm a little-
really unwell.
They had a case of the mummy rot.
Ugh, that's a nasty one, that one. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. I think I can fix that. Sort of pulls out his gun,
That's
cocks it, points it at your head.
not the right solution.
Just
Bang! Bullet flies in and Khalil's body drops to the ground.
Well, I don't know that that's necessarily helping.
Click!
Okay.
Bang! Gerald's body also drops to the ground. Right, now where did I put it? Here we go. Pulls out the scroll and starts reading it, casting an incantation. Do you guys say anything when he shoots them in the head?
So we legit just
Um,
get brains blown out, right?
I'm just gonna stand there and like shocked.
Yep.
Frozen.
I run
So,
away
Rora?
a little bit farther back.
He seems to be whistling like, in the merry month of June, from me broken-hearted left wing to June, really broken-hearted, so looking for the dear, kiss me, darling mother, drink a pint of beer. And he, he sort of casts a spell, and Khalil, suddenly you are awakened. You no longer have any ability score damage,
Hey.
Oh.
but you do have a -1 to rolls for the next 24 hours.
To all rolls?
All rolls. All D20 rolls. Geralt, he does the same thing. Yep. And plop, up you come. And you also have the same thing. You are restored. And you see the scrolls basically burn and sort of disappear in this magical blue fire as he says the words. And he's like, all right, well,
I
that
jump
should
up,
sort
I'm
you out.
super excited, touching myself. I run up and try to shake his hand.
Darby literally just starts rolling on the floor laughing.
Rob says, "What the hell was that?"
You sort of shake his hand. He's got like a very cold but firm grip.
It's cold.
He says, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. I think thinking about it is going to make it worse than it is.
I think that's fair enough.
The shooting thing was
All right.
pretty cool.
All right. Well, anyway, lads, look, I'll leave you to it. But again, just be very careful. I won't be there to help you all the time. And, things like that are pretty expensive. For those of you who don't know, a true resurrection spell is about maybe 20,000 gold in value
Yeah.
Jeez.
each.
Yeah.
He sort of nods his hat to you, gives you a smile, and rejoins the. He sort of sees Evelyn, the opera singer, sort of standing at the gate waiting for her.
Does she see
And
us?
so he's like, oh
Is,
yeah, she sees you. She completely ignores
Is
you.
Evelyn's the one that doesn't look like a ghost, or is that the one that looks like a ghost?
Evelyn's the one that doesn't look like a ghost. Yeah, Evelyn's the one that looks like. Actually, we'll get a picture up. Do you have the picture of the Helsing woman, Eddie? Not that one. different one.
It's Eve Valentine.
We did give him his guns back, so.
Eugene? What is it?
Did we?
I'll say when.
He lost his arms, and we fought the.
It's one of
the crow.
Yeah,
that
it's one of the
had
helps.
The guns, and we took them back
Yeah.
and gave them to him. They're probably worth more than 20,000 gold. They seemed pretty magical.
I would assume so.
Sorry, he's just finding it now. Because she'll be important in a minute. So yeah, yep. The ghost one right there. Like yeah, you're looking at it. That one. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah, the
Okay,
ghost
good.
woman.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, I can actually speak with the editor, and communicate this sort of stuff, and I can see his screen because I'm nosy and bossy that way. Okay, so where we at? Yes. So you see this this beautiful woman, and Rosenville says, "Well, if you've got any questions, before I have to, bugger off."
So basically, you just want us to keep an eye out for anything fishy.
Aye, just because I know that they're gonna have us on vampire duty, as it were.
It is
And
very strange that they hired vampire hunters to protect a vampire.
Indeed.
Do I know?
Nice.
Just in general knowledge, Jackson, I'm asking: are vampires? They're not unanimously like bad, are they?
99.9% are.
Okay.
So
And,
there's. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
So the ones that hired them are the 1% that are good.
No.
I have a
it's-
feeling
I
no.
think it's a trap.
Well, you don't actually know who hired the Helsing.
Oh.
What do we know? Do we know that has this count showed himself to be like? We don't know necessarily, of course, but has he ever done anything?
No, he's incredibly what's the word? Reclusive.
Okay.
He's incredibly reclusive, so no one really knows what his deal is, where he's from, what he's doing,
Okay.
etc.
But he's in charge, right?
Yes, he
How-
is in charge of the land.
How
He
have
owns the
people
most.
responded
yeah,
to
he
him
owns the most
being in
land.
charge?
Was that?
How have people responded to him being in charge? Is he like?
Oh, the cities, the towns are very, very. It's more like it's an absent lord more than he's there. You know what I mean? It's not
Okay,
like he
I
goes
get it, I
around
get
and
it.
does stuff. It's more like they haven't seen or heard from him in like years at a time, and every time he shows up, he sort of shows up like a storm and then leaves again.
Okay.
But no one seems to be dissatisfied. Like there's no riots, there's no rebellion, there's no sense of anger or anguish.
Okay.
Clearly, he has been a part of the principality for a while, so people haven't sort of turned around and sort of, said, no, we need to kill this guy.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I feel much better.
Yeah.
Good.
I think that.
I
Must
feel
have,
slightly better.
Goodbye. Well,
do you think it was one of the
All right,
Helsings
any-
that gave you that book? It led us here.
It's quite possible. He probably put it in my pocket
Yeah.
that one night that
We
I was
planted it on you.
really tired. That's what I imagined.
Blackout tired.
Very tired. I didn't dream at all, but I was very tired.
Okay. So, with Rosenville leaving, with Eve, following as well, you can kind of see, actually, Sorora, this is the first time you actually see Eve as well. You can see that as she walks, it almost looks like there is a second version of her walking like a shadow behind her.
And
And that's the
she's
That's the picture you see.
yeah, and she's trustworthy.
I wouldn't really call. Yes, she's a Helsing. She's quiet.
We had to fight her. It turned out okay.
Droll almost lost his head.
Yeah, I almost died because I attacked her, so.
Well, no, you almost died because you attacked the right one. I guess.
Yeah,
'cause that was the one we passed.
I don't know, we were fighting the ghost. Wasn't working out. I was like, let's just kill her.
So there's two that attacked you.
It was a
Well,
test.
she was kind of sitting on the sidelines. I think I wasn't supposed to fight her, but
It was a series of tests to see if we were good enough, and of course we weren't.
well, I mean, they kind of cheated. The tests were rigged, clearly.
All right.
Actually, you did pass the her
Hers.
test.
We passed hers.
Yeah, you passed hers because you attacked her, and she's like, yes, you can actually see beyond the fight in front of you. But she didn't actually say, but I'll tell you guys. Because you guys did actually take the whole encounter into consideration, that's why you passed. Because there was no way you could do damage to the ghost at the time. And, you know, it was like, yeah, you could keep banging your head against the wall, or you could try and solve the problem. And Geralt kind of figured it out.
Right.
So, yeah, you passed hers.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, all right, moving on. You approach the front gate, and there is the guy in a tuxedo. Hello.
Welcome.
Yes.
Hi. I guess you've already been here, so it's not welcome for you. Welcome us.
No.
We
I
are
believe
the
I told you
Holidays.
the deliveries
Come
were
here
around
to-
back.
No.
It's a different man in a
It's
tuxedo.
the same one, right?
Yeah, same one.
We are back. Welcome.
I love the
Welcome
idea of
back.
just like walking into places.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We are here to fix your problem.
You're here for the plumbing. Okay, service entrance is down the
No,
back.
wait, Holiday, we're guards. We're here to be guards.
We saw
Oh,
your
you're the
ad.
mercenaries.
I'll
Yes.
hold the book and point at it. This, yes.
Yes. One moment, please. He sort of, and you see a guard sort of walk out. Now this is an elderly-looking veteran man, very old, stern look on his face, with very shiny-looking armor. The first thing you notice about him is that his armor actually bears the crest of the royal house of the Prince of Ustalav.
Wow.
Hmm.
And he steps out. All right. Who are you?
I'm Khalil. This is Dobby, Geralt, and Sorora. We are.
I am Captain Dreyfus of the Royal Guard.
I like your armor.
Come with me.
Okay.
Actually, real quick before we take off, before we like go on, Geralt kind of says, you know, oh, it's good to meet you, sir. And he does like a very like soldiery, authentic salute.
He sort of looks you up and down and can smell the mead on your breath.
It's very sloppy.
He seems incredibly unimpressed at you.
I kind of want to pull Sorora aside real quick and be like, hey, you don't have to, like, we got you to the town. You can go get a new card or something, I guess. This is our mission. And we have to do this. I don't want to drag you into this.
You know,
Okay.
I got some free gold out of you guys. Might as well help you out a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, he takes you into. Okay. All right,
He
here we
does
go.
have nice armor.
It's very nice, right, Dobby? It's very shiny.
Is he a vampire?
A knight in shining armor has not truly had his metal tested. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. He says, "Oh yes, here we go."
Yes. He looks like a vampire.
I think he's just.
As you guys are led into the palace, he says that he intended in every way to buff up security for the attendance of the Prince Aradant Ordanti III at tonight's, at the banquet in a few days' time. This is, of course, the Prince of Ustalav. However, the prince himself is a very big fan of sweepers. I, however, find them a distasteful lot.
I agree.
But he insisted on hiring the Helsing agents to safeguard the event. I, however, hold no illusion that we need more than simply the Royal Guard and to rely on the, if you pardon the phrase, the minions of those damned undead. So I've reached out to good, honest, living folk in hopes that we can try and ensure the safety of our beloved prince, and that is where you come in.
Thank
I
you.
believe you four have, from your appearance, have been working together for quite some time.
Yes. Quite some time.
No.
Well, except for you, that is excellent, because we were looking for a reasonably tight-knit group to help us. But before that, there is someone you must meet. All right, so he leads you through the opulent castle into the main meeting room. There are lots of people working on restoring this building, which up until recently looks clean but unused, right? Like, it looks as though people have, sort of come through the area, but, it's been gathering dust and, kind of they're airing it out, putting in new furnishings and stuff like that. You can see people running around with extravagant china and silverware preparing for the banquet. There's literally an army of laborers. You enter what appears to be a grandiose ballroom with red velvet draping over the windows, thick so that it blocks out the sun. The floor itself, designed after the Chelish ballrooms, with red and black tiles, almost like a chessboard, as a dance floor. And you can see several men, including 2 royal guards, that appear to be lifting a giant chandelier up onto the ceiling. They aren't particularly struggling, but this is kind of what you see before you. Captain Dreyfus sort of stands to the
Very
side and seems to be
impressive
waiting.
room.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, not too bad.
I think they need help with that chandelier.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we could help him out. Yeah, why not?
I'll run up there.
All right. Okay, you make your way over to some of the shirtless workmen as they, sort of are pulling on the chandelier, and you sort of pull alongside them. Make strength checks, please.
14.
18.
Okay. Yep.
Am I doing it?
All right.
Are you trying to go help?
Yes, I'm gonna go help.
D20 plus 1.
9.
9. Okay. You think you're helping. Okay. You all heave and you pull, and eventually the chandelier is lifted and mounted on the ceiling by some workers who are, sort of being hung from the ceiling. All the workers sort of breathe a sigh of relief. It was really heavy, and, they're sort of trying to catch their breath. One of the workers sort of thanks you. He, sort of walks up and he sort of shakes you by the hand. He says, "Oh, wow, thanks for, helping us out there."
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah. He's a few moments later, the guards, you can see the guards are actually like out of breath, and they sort of stagger to their feet. They're like, and you see a servant in a tuxedo sort of bring out some ice water, and they walk over to the guards, but instead of giving the ice water to the guards, it gives it to the shirtless worker that you see before you. They also give a embossed towel, and he sort of wipes off some of the sweat, and he goes, "Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you." The server at this point speaks up and says, "His Royal Highness and heir to the throne of Ustalav, master of its realms and the lands within, may I present the Howland Agency?" And he says, "Oh, yeah, well, you will forgive my appearance, won't you? I do hate sitting idle when there are so many things to be done."
It's respectable.
Yes, I am. He says, "Yes, I am Prince Ordanti III. Please, have a seat." He sort of gestures at a couple of chairs.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
He sort of says, "Would you like a drink as well?" He sort of points at the tray of ice water.
Yes, sure.
Have
Do
anything
you
else?
happen to have anything else to drink?
Not the time drop.
He sort
it's
of
always the time.
he sort of snaps his fingers, and the guy nods. He sort of walks off with the tray once he gives everyone the water.
I'll take water.
My name
gone.
is Khalil. This is Geralt, Dalby, and Sora.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry. He says, "Yes, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Sorry, Just a moment while I'm just trying to source something real quick. Come on, you. No, doesn't want to give me one. Okay, it doesn't want to give me a picture apparently. Oh, maybe it does. Hang on. Did I find it? All right, I was trying to find a picture. I can't find a picture, so I'm just going to keep going. All right, so he basically says... oh, wait, no, I did find a picture. I'm a genius. No, I'm not. I actually just Google super hard. These words, by the way, like half the reason why I'm like taking a little bit of time with this is because the names themselves are so freaking difficult to spell. Okay. He says, yes, I've actually heard so much about you. Arthur is a good and trusted family friend, and he mentioned that that you fine fellows would be coming.
Arthur?
Arthur Van Helsing.
Oh, yes.
Well,
He spoke very highly of you.
yes.
Oh, well, that was nice of him.
We speak
Yes.
highly of him as well.
He says that you can be most certainly relied upon to help with our defenses. Though honestly, I can't help but feel that Captain Dreyfus and the Sleepless Agency have become rather overzealous with the protection of this particular event. It's called the Blood Moon Ball, and it's to celebrate a conference where I will be speaking with all the members of the Principality, including, of course, our gracious host, Count Tyriak. There are many things to be said here, and including a very important announcement. And I would ask that you take care of my guests as well as you would take care of my own person.
Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I just better safe as always. Yeah, no, yeah.
And
Is there anything you
Your Highness, it was you're the person who decided to bring on the Helsings to protect this, right?
Well, while I'd say that was the case, it was only due to the posturing of my rather overprotective guards that led to his acquisition. Arthur, as I mentioned, is a dear friend. We grew up together, and I trusted no one better with my defense.
It's a good choice.
Don't you think it will be detrimental to have them in the same room as a vampire lord?
Arthur is a trusted friend. Arthur is very trusted, and he is also of noble birth. He understands his station, and exactly what that implies. I was... Look, I do not think that anything bad is going to happen. Honestly, I just wanted to party with Arthur, and and if I'm being direct and blunt, it also means that Captain Dreyfus, who is rather a suspicious individual, feels a lot better about me hanging out and partying with Arthur in a vampire castle. Isn't that right? He sort of, the guard looks kind of very sternly at him, but doesn't say anything.
Your god is probably right.
Yes. Well, that is why we have them, and why I am not a guard myself. Well, that, and obviously I was not born a guard, but you know how things are. Well, listen, if there's anything you require, please do not hesitate to ask. Any friend of Arthur is, of course, a friend of the crown. And I would ask you once more, please refrain from any action that would otherwise offend our gracious host during this time. Count Tyriak is quite a private person, but we would not want to impose on his hospitality.
No, of course.
Excellent. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, but there's still much work to be done. And he sort of gestures at Captain Dreyfus, and he stands, and he sort of, looks at you.
Yeah, we will be on our way.
Thank you.
Right.
We'll do.
He sort of has this big smile on his face. Captain Dreyfus then gestures for you to follow him.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
So, Captain.
All right.
Are you like
Yes.
as we're walking away? Are you actually super concerned for your prince?
Of course he is.
Of course I am. The prince is grown up with rose-tinted glasses. He does not see danger, and he walks recklessly into it. Only last summer, he was mauled by a boar during a hunt because he refused to allow the guards to accompany him.
I mean, that sounds like he's trying, right? Maybe it's you guys that have given him the rose.
He sort of looks at you and he doesn't disagree, but at the same time, were he a noble person, I would agree. But you are talking about the last remaining heir to the Slavic throne.
Ooh,
It's fair.
that is a problem.
We'll do everything we can. Anything you want us to help make sure that he's not harmed.
What happens
Excellent.
if he is harmed?
Well, that would be bad. Most likely the dissolution of the principality.
Mm.
It's a bad thing.
That bet not good.
Yeah. he then sort of seems to lead you, but nowhere in particular. You actually notice you walk through the same corridor a couple of times, until you get to a point where there is no servants or guards or anything around you. At which point he turns to face you and says, "Your first task is to investigate something for me."
Okay.
Excuse me?
To investigate something for me.
What would you like us to investigate?
There is a member of Count Tyriak's staff, a Nosferatu by the name of Ramoska Akminos. He has a study here in the castle.
Roma, wait, hold on. What?
Ramoska
Akminos.
Argomanos.
Why do you want us to investigate this man?
He says, this individual has been associated with several rather large-scaled catastrophes in the year's recent past. A disease outbreak that occurred in Corvosa. And another incident involving rather nasty necromancers and vampire courts in Califas.
Do you know if he was involved at all with the Carrion Hill situation?
I cannot say, but this is why I want you to investigate. This man is full of, well, let's just say covert and clandestine going-ons, and I do not like that.
Doesn't this go directly against what your prince wishes?
It does, but at the same time, it obeys the strict tenets we are to follow. The Royal Guard and the captain shall not interfere or otherwise engage with any member of the staff of the House of Tyriak. You, however, are neither Royal Guard nor the captain.
Right.
Hmm.
And this Agaminos character, he's got the ear of Lord Tyriak. Like he.
Some say he is the right-hand man.
You want us to break into his keep and find something?
I don't want you to find something, but should you find something, I wish it to be brought to my attention.
Don't you fear this would come back to your prince at some point? In some form of retaliation, or...
Well, that depends on how good you are at your job.
I'm not saying we're bad. I'm just saying this is more dangerous than we originally thought, and this puts our name out there if something is to go wrong.
There is also a peace pact. The vampires are not allowed to kill any living creature within the walls till the conclusion of the banquet.
But after.
Oh yeah, they could definitely kill us after the party.
Oh yes, but I'm sure you will take due care and attention.
I want to look him in the eyes and ask him this seriously as I can, and since motive, do you believe that doing this is going to help the better of the people? Is this guy possibly that dangerous of a person?
I could care less about the people. I care about the
Or your
prince.
prince?
Then yes, this is absolutely a necessity for the protection of the prince.
Hey, it works
You can
for
roll
me.
a knowledge. Oh, sorry. I was going to say you can roll a knowledge history if you want to know about some of the historical events that that he mentioned about Ramoska.
Yeah, I'll
I
roll.
think you're trained in history,
Okay.
if I saw
I
correctly.
rolled
Yeah,
a
okay.
20 on history, not natural.
Okay. With a 20, you would know of the two events that he speaks of. The first was, of course, it happened a few years ago at a rebellion in the place known as Corvosa. The emperor at the time had perished, and the queen had basically fallen into, well, let's just say some evil influences. One of the events that occurred in the town was a disease known as the Blood Veil that ran rampant through the streets and destabilized the power there. Ramoska was directly associated with those who were spreading the disease. Now, it was never proven that he was the one himself who did spread the disease, but he was, in fact, working with them to some capacity.
Okay.
The second one was an incident in Caliphas, where vampire spawns were rebelling against their masters, albeit from the influence of some manner of drug. The vampire courts had believed Ramoska himself to be responsible, and had summarily tried him for it. However, he was released after he was proven to have been, well, at least not the one directly responsible for it.
Okay.
Captain Dreyfus, are you aware if Ramaska is a vampire himself?
Yes, he is a Nosferatu.
Okay.
Okay, Captain.
Nosferatu is a rather ugly-looking vampire
Right.
with sharp and pointy teeth.
Okay.
Will he be in his office at the point when we try to go in there?
I hope not.
No.
We
Well,
better
then.
pick the right
That's
point.
a vague answer.
He's not going to tell us how to do the job.
We'll take care
Well,
of it.
you would think that he would at least have a little bit of information, maybe on
Captain.
his
Mm.
whereabouts or something.
We'll help you. We'll do it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. What do you want us to start?
Okay. He says, well, his study is in this tower of the castle. And he sort of points you in a direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. He then leaves and excuses himself, and allows you to decide how you wish to approach. Okay. So, the tower is not too far away. You haven't really had much time to breathe since you arrived here, and that is because we had a lot of information to get through, and I do apologize for that. But we are going to look at how you guys want to approach the study. Now, the study itself is down a rather busy corridor, with many members of staff still working on, preparing for the banquet. There is a heavy-set double door that is locked at all times. And that's pretty much. There's no actual security on the door. There's no like guards or anything posted or anything of that sort.
And this is like the door to the tower, or door to what we believe to be is
The study.
The study. We're already in the tower.
Okay. And so it looks like
It's,
there's just people walking around, and then there's a giant like double door, and they're kind of like bustling around and stuff.
Yeah. So every couple of minutes, you see like a group of 2 or 3 servant staff walk past.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any like cracks in the door or anything like that? It's just pretty.
It's a pretty solid door.
Okay, and like the underneath of it, like it doesn't have like a gap under the bottom.
There is a tiny gap beneath the bottom of the door. If you want to peer through it, you don't really see too much, but you do see that inside appears to be kind of like a library, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. Whenever we approach the tower, is this a large building with like a bunch of different rooms in it, or is it mainly for?
It's a large building with many different rooms, but Ramoska's study is but one room. If you go to the exterior, there is a window, but the window is like one of these, like, kind of slit windows, as it were.
So we couldn't get in that way.
No.
Because we're too big.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, do you still have that minify? Like, don't you have like a
Yes, I can
shrink
reduce.
person?
I can reduce person on myself.
Or you could
Well,
if you shrink,
if you shrink Geralt will be able to squeeze through the window.
That's so Geralt.
let's do this.
You're gonna get even smaller, my friend.
That's great.
It doesn't taste good.
That's fine. I don't care.
We're gonna
Give me some mead with it.
How-
It'll be fine.
how do we approach this? So the outside window, he's gonna have to scale the building and climb into the window.
Well, because it's, is it a potion?
It's a spell.
No, for Darby.
Do you have the spell?
Yeah, I'm gonna use.
Oh, well then use your spell.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, he can climb up for the most part, and then you can use the spell when he's by the window. So Geralt, start by making a climb check for me as you
Let's
scale the
watch.
side of the building.
yeah.
Now, as you do so, you realize that the building is actually against a very rough slope. So were you to fall from here, you would actually be cast down towards the river, or towards the lake, sorry.
Just so you know, those two are keeping watch.
We're gonna keep
Can we
watch.
catch?
Yep. Okay.
How little is he? Can we catch him in like the palm of our hand?
He's about maybe that big.
You could catch him.
Maybe I'm not all that strong.
All right. Well, it's okay. I rolled I got a 22.
Yep, you managed to scale the building as you sort of begin your climb, and when he's within range, Khalil stretches forth his hand, makes the several arcane rune symbols, and a beam of energy washes over Geralt as he and shrinks down to the size of about a small dog.
Can I whisper
Like
to him, like kind of like shout whisper to him, like safely? Do you think?
Can you shout whisper?
like you know. Like
Can you shout whisper right now?
Hey, Geralt.
You mean
Shall whisper.
Khalil, shut up!
stage whisper? You mean?
Yeah. Can I reach him?
Yeah.
Say, you only have about a minute, okay?
Well, he just has to get through the window.
Yeah, I just have to get through the window.
It's not like the rest of the room's that small.
Well, don't unlock. We don't know
Okay.
if there's a spell in the door.
Could I get a perception check, please, from Sorora and Darby?
While we went to go get watch, Darby would, since he's specifically doing something that is perception, he'd take his heightened awareness potion.
3. Well,
You notice that you have 2 feet.
good.
21
That is
for
good.
Darby.
Anyway, Darby, however, you as a paranoid individual, notice that there is a man that seems to be walking towards you. This man looks very familiar. This man has a very distinct appearance because it is in fact Valentine.
Oh.
He's a jerk.
He's sort of walking up to you. I mean, what do you do? Because basically it's you, Khalil,
Can he
Sorora,
already see
and
them?
Geralt sort of hanging from the wall as he's approaching.
Is he coming from like where he can't see them climbing the wall, or does he already see everything?
You can't see them climbing the wall yet.
Let's go run interference on this guy.
I mean, it's just
Well,
me
Track?
climbing
yeah.
the
Okay.
wall, isn't it?
This could be fun. Yeah, but I'm not. I can't.
He
see
doesn't
this.
know
He
me.
sees.
That's okay.
That's true.
What are you gonna do?
He get-
You may want to
go,
convey some information.
I'll
possibly.
go up to him and be like, hello, nice to see you again.
Does he not like you guys?
Not particularly.
Not really.
He sort of looks at Darby.
But I'm gonna rush
looks
up
at
so he
you,
doesn't come around the corner.
Sort of looks at Sorora, looks back at Darby, looks back at Sorora, and says, "So the other one died then?"
Yeah, it was really sad. An orc chopped her head off, and then her horse wouldn't leave. I did get her tent though.
That was very practical of you. And who are you?
Oh, I've
Looking
just joined the journey. I was gonna ask you why you are here at this party.
They're gods.
Oh, they are the gods. Oh, he's part of the Helsing
Yeah.
family. Okay.
I am
why are you in this
Valentine
hallway?
Helsing.
Can I do like a motive check for why he's in the hallway?
You can.
Okay.
I think we're outside though.
You roll
Roll
a
a sense
20.
motive.
A 20, and
thought,
then you
like-
add your sense motive to it.
Okay.
Ooh.
20 and then sense motive.
Natural 20.
Where's that?
That's like
Does she need to
casual.
add
That's like
anything, or is that
casually
just
the
like...
third one she's
Uh,
rolled tonight.
On which one? 3?
Damn.
Under
23?
Wait, is it under class?
No, it's under
It's
your
your
skills.
skills. That
Skills.
big list right
Skills.
there is all the skills.
Yeah, no, I know, but here, so sense motive,
Sense motive.
Would it be
Yeah,
the
it's
3?
alphabetical.
or would it be?
You're trained in it, so it should be a lot higher than that.
It should also be a class skill, if I remember correctly.
Right, so she'd get the plus
Yeah.
3 for
Yeah.
being trained in it.
So 23.
23? Yeah, with a 23, he just sort of looks at you, and you can kind of tell that he is it's more he's laying out a path for patrol. He's looking for weak spots.
Okay.
He sort of says, taking note of suspicious characters, which raises the question: what are you doing here?
Oh, we
Looking for the restroom.
that's what she's doing right now. The reason we're at
Roll a bluff check.
Roll a bluff check.
Roll a bluff check.
but
20.
but overall the reason
All
we're
right.
here is because
11, and then my.
we found this cart of old food, and
Bluff
we
3.
saw that they were like
What?
it was with this town
No,
for
that's
this
not right.
party.
4.
So we came here to
No.
deliver it and collect the reward.
Let's see.
And that is why you are in this corridor.
No, this is your bluff.
12.
Oh, we
Yeah.
were talking to
12 plus 11. 22.
Oh my
Captain
god.
23.
Dreyfus.
23. 23 for the bathroom.
He sort of looks at her and looks at Darby as Darby's like rambling like about this stuff. He sort of looks at Darby and sort of scowls a bit more, and he looks at Sorora and says,
I'm gonna scowl back anytime someone scowls
Yeah.
at me.
Perfect.
"Oh yeah, this time you won't win the scowling contest." Sorora, he looks at Sorora and he sort of says, "Third door on the left," and he walks past. He doesn't actually. And ironically, the way he moves, he doesn't even make eye contact because he's almost sure that Darby is going to be looking back and asking him questions. So because his eyes are straight forward, he doesn't see Khalil off to the side and Geralt hanging off the wall.
Perfect.
And he doesn't turn back. He just walks straight forward. Could I get a hero point for everyone in this encounter?
Hey.
So, you guys have successfully avoided the Helsing and
So
and
me and Geralt still
infiltrated.
get one, even though we weren't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a group one.
So you
it's a
just
group one.
you just have to take note of these in
Yeah.
your where there's like that note section, or you can write
You
it
can
down.
just write it down too.
Just write down that you have one hero
So,
point.
a hero point.
Okay.
You can choose to spend a hero point to gain +8 to a roll if you choose to spend it before you roll. Correct?
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Now, again, we haven't done this today because today we were obviously focusing on introducing our new player. So, I think now is the perfect time to introduce one of the other concepts that we have from Tales from the Undertaker, and that is, of course, the plot twist. So, if we have any members of the audience who are chilling around in chat, also thank you guys for joining us and hanging out. But we need from you guys a number between 1 and 51 in order to find out what kind of plot twist awaits our heroes inside Ramoska's study. So, a number between 1 and 51 as I start describing what happens to Geralt. So, Geralt, you enter the study. As you enter, you find yourself in a grand and tall room with a 40-foot high ceiling and 2-story bookshelves with a spiraling staircase leading up to lattices that sort of run around so that you can access each of the shelves. They are meticulously ordered and highly cared for. Unlike the rest of this entire building, which seems to be coated in dust, this area is just pristine. There are tables filled with open study books, scribbled notes, spellcasting scrolls, and alchemical tools, as well as a catalog of Pathfinder chronicles that relate to art, history, and politics. In the center of the room is a large writing desk with a black leather chair next to it. The desk has various sheets and notes on it. There isn't any sign of disorder here. An assortment of quills, even that are on the desk, are even assorted into size and sharpness.
Okay. By the way, the Zergling 25 gave us the number 36.
36. Well, thank you very much, mate. And let's find out what plot twist happens.
Is that a 25?
I reckon it's going to be something like, surprise!
I think so.
And like... All right, here we go. Plot twist cards. 36, 36, 36, 36, 26, 34, 35, 36. Oh. Okay. This is interesting.
Oh.
Hmm.
Thank you,
All right.
sibling.
All right. So, as Geralt enters, Geralt looks around. He can obviously see what I've described. I assume that you guys
We're gonna
intend
go
to,
back around.
Geralt intends to let everyone in.
Yeah.
Yep. So everyone runs over to the front. As Geralt.
Oh, that was actually honestly never my intention.
Oh, okay. What do you want to do then?
Because I figured that would be incredibly suspicious to have the door open and everyone run into this.
But nobody's
room that
around. We'll
everyone
just
knows
wait
about.
till the coast is clear. It's
Now
not
we're
like
gonna
it's
leave.
busy.
One of us has to stay outside.
I'll stay outside.
I'll crawl in.
I also want, if we're gonna do this, I want to sense detect magic on the door.
There is. There is magic on the door.
Can I do a spellcraft check?
You may indeed.
Oof. Luckily I had good spell check. 19.
It appears to be some manner of arcane lock.
Okay, and from what I know about this, it doesn't mean there's an alarm. It just means it's locked, right?
It means that it's like a trigger. It's like a symbol or a sign that is uniquely tied to the person who set the lock.
Okay.
Sorry, not lock, arcane mark.
Yeah, I'm not touching this door.
Yeah,
So does it alert? It alerts.
Yeah, say
It probably
don't
does.
Even-
Don't open the door.
I wasn't going to. I figured that would be incredibly suspicious.
Wait, from the inside, does it alert? Like if you open it from the inside?
I'm guessing
I'm
if
sure-
anybody
I think
opens
does
it,
probably,
Geralt, you gotta hurry. You gotta get out that window.
just with what I know
No.
of these kind
Oh
of...
no, that's gonna be. Wait, maybe I can just kind of look around,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then if I find anything, I'll get out,
Yes.
and then we'll be gone by the time he comes back.
Look at the pens.
Mhm.
Hello. Might I give some assistance?
Oh, someone walking up on us?
You look around, Geralt, and you can hear a voice coming from inside the room. You can't see shit.
Can I do a perception check?
Oh yeah, you can.
We're dumb.
23.
With a 23, you notice that atop the bookshelves, barely visible from the lower deck, appears to be several statues. These statues are of winged beasts with long tails. There are 4 of them in number. One of them seems to be a little bit out of place compared to the others. And it seems to be looking straight at you.
Well, this is incredibly awkward. How are you doing? Who are
Yes.
you?
You see it sort of crawl down, like Spider-Man crawl down the bookshelf. You notice that even though it's doing that, it is so careful as to not knock off any of the books. And as it comes down, its tail sort of flicks, almost like a snake. As it moves forward, it says, "I am the caretaker."
Okay.
And who might you be, my tiny morsel?
My name is Tiny Steve.
By the way, this creature is about the size of a horse.
Oh!
More specifically, it could probably carry a horse off.
Oh.
How high is your bluff? Is it not
I don't think it's very high
not
at all.
high at all.
Tiny Steve.
Well, Tiny Steve, it appears you
My
might
bluff is really bad.
you might have gotten lost.
I think you're right.
Can we
There's
hear
a
them at all?
large to-do happening. I heard that there were warm-blooded creatures wandering through the castle this day. I was curious to see them myself. He sort of raises his big claw and sort of just pokes you a little. Not aggressively, right? Like just sort of like, you're soft. You know, like, because you can actually tell from just touching him as well that he is made of stone.
Gargoyle.
And he says, you see, there's a treaty or something. Vampires not being allowed to attack or kill any creatures until the ball has reached its conclusion.
That's probably very convenient for me.
This is where we are at an impasse, Tiny Steve. I am no vampire.
Oh no.
Can we
This
hear
is
outside?
true. This is
You
true.
guys can hear. Okay, now while this is going on, you guys can hear this from outside, and you also notice that people haven't come by in a little bit. You can all make me everyone who's outside can make me a perception check now.
17 for Khalil.
1.
Oh!
You are super precise.
You are the best lookout.
I am.
Darby got a 24.
Okay. Well, everyone except Sonora. Sorora.
I'm asleep at this
It'll
point.
happen.
I'm bored.
It'll happen. You know, I want to just call you Sorrow from now on. Like, you know, the Mask of Sorrow.
Sorrow.
No.
Sauron.
Okay.
Sauron.
When down the hall, waving his hand like a bleeding idiot, is Arthur Helsing.
Oh.
The good one.
Hi, Arthur.
He seems to be followed by about 4 guards,
Oh.
and he's rushing over to you like,
Hello, Arthur. How are you?
hello, oh, my friends. Oh, it's so good to see you here. I was so worried. I told the prince that you were coming, but then I didn't realize that the others wouldn't accept you, and oh, it saved me so much embarrassment. But when the prince told me that you were here, I just had to find you. Oh my God. Oh,
I'm really
just-
glad
it
you
relieves
found
my
us,
heart.
Arthur.
Arthur's the really big one, right?
what's that?
Arthur's the really fucking big dude.
No. This is the knight. This is the really
that's
handsome.
right.
Yeah, he's like the leader of the house.
This
The like blonde-haired
Yeah.
knight guy.
Yeah, the blonde one with blue eyes. You know, the very
Sometimes I
handsome
think he
individual.
was the fucking
No.
Okay.
The orc?
I'm very, very glad you found us, Arthur. I think we might be in a little bit of trouble.
No.
Especially Tiny Steve.
Tiny Steve. Who was Tiny Steve again?
So we.
And who are you? Oh my god, I'm sorry, where are my manners? I am Arthur Van Helsing, leader of the Helsing organization. It is a pleasure to meet you. He sort of grabs you by the hand, and he goes down on one knee, and he sort of gives you a kiss on the back of your hand, and he sort of pulls like a leaf out of his teeth. And he's like,
it's nice to meet you, and I kind of like snatch my hand away, and I said I already met one of your brothers. Actually, did I meet two of you?
aha!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
two of the
yes,
family
yeah, no,
members.
we're all family in the Helsing. But I have no brother. The closest man I have to a brother is, of course, Valentine, who has been with me my whole life. Love that man. But I digress. What help does Tiny Steve need? Have I met Tiny Steve? Is that a thing? I'm sorry. There was Darby, there was Raylan, there was Khalil, there was Geralt.
Tiny Geralt.
Tiny Steve.
It's-
Oh my God! Did you have a fairy with you that I did not see?
No. It's
I feel terrible. Is that who she is?
no.
Are you Tiny Steve?
No, I am
Geralt is Tiny Steve. It's just for some reason why he told this thing in the room that's what his name was, and I thought it was hilarious.
Well, of course,
Oh,
I
in
didn't
that
want to
room.
tell him who I actually was.
I know.
Oh, in that room.
Yes.
Yeah, and so Geralt at this moment is like, I better just burst out of this room, and so he's gonna try and like get out
Okay.
of the room.
Okay. As you
You
go
touched
for the
the
door,
door?
because you're so tiny, your legs kind of don't move as quickly as they used to, and this huge hand, like a cat paw, sort of gets between you and the door. And it's sort of like one hand is sort of like leaning on the other as its claw sort of. So tell me, Tiny Steve,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
do you like games?
Is it a drinking game? Because otherwise, no, not particularly.
Oh, but I love games. Won't you play one with me? Ramoska, he leaves me here, and I've read every book on these walls. I find them so dull after the 18th million time I've read them.
Yes, that does sound rather inconvenient for you. I wish I could read. I'm unfortunately illiterate.
I'll tell you what. Play a game with me, and if you answer me correctly, I'll let you go free. But if you fail, I get one of your limbs.
Ah,
Uh,
yes.
this doesn't sound like a very fair game. It kind of sounds
Oh,
like
but-
I don't get anything if I win, and I lose a lot if I lose.
Well, you get to live if you win.
That is true. However, I don't profit. It seems like you would be profiting if you win, and I'm just kind of
Yeah.
the same if I lose.
Well,
Or if I
if
win.
you lose, then I... Oh, yes, that is true, but then again, I could just eat you. I mean, you do look so tasty. Your soft and tender flesh.
Maybe he's only
Oh,
gonna eat
you're
him
like,
because he's so
you're like a
small.
giant, you're like a large flesh peach.
Okay, fair point.
Play 2 games.
Get rid of
And
your
if you
reduced
win
person,
both-
and then
He'll let us all go in and look for that object.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
All right. Meanwhile, on the outside, while he contemplates his moment of indecision. Thank you, by the way, for that plot twist card. The gargoyle is, of course, courtesy of this. So there you go. Originally, there was actually nothing in here, but there you go. That's how the plot twist works, and that's where the dice crumble. So, yep. Hell, if you, seeing as you guys brought in the gargoyle, if you guys want to name him, feel free to, and I'll throw his name down. All right. Meanwhile, on the outside, Arthur has kind of a worried look on his face, and he goes, "What is Tiny Steve doing in there? He shouldn't be in there. That's quite off limits."
Sure, get Tony Steve out.
I got angry at him and threw him into the window.
Roll a bluff check.
This one.
Yeah. And then plus 12.
20 plus
Oh my
12?
god, she rolled a natural
32!
Of course. Yes, that happens all the time. I'm sure it's a terrible misunderstanding. Right, guys? The guards standing behind him are like... All right. So Arthur says, all right. So tell you what, stay right here. I'm going to go and find the keymaster, explain the whole situation, and I'm sure we'll be cleared up in no time. Just hang out here and keep shouting support. Hopefully he won't die. As far as I heard, there's some sort of beast, a gargoyle, I feel, that's actually in there at the moment. So tell him to remain calm, stay perfectly still, and not to make any sudden movements. And oh god, don't look like mice. Apparently the thing eats mice. So yeah, okay. So I'll be right back. And he sort of rushes off.
Geralt, don't look like a mouse.
So cool.
It had to have been a minute by now, right? So I should be like... Oh, God.
You know, you're just slightly less
By the
small.
way, it lasts for 3 minutes.
Oh!
So you're back to normal size?
No, I'm not back to
No.
normal size.
Oh.
I'm still really tiny.
I'm so tiny. Help me. All right. Okay. So, will we play my game?
Yeah, alright, let's do this.
Okay.
I might get a cool mechanical limb out of it, so...
All right. Well, here is the riddle. That's right. It's another riddle.
Oh god, I'm really bad at these.
A farmer is on one side of the river. He has a bag of grain, a chicken,
Oh,
and a fox. He has a tiny boat in which he can transport only one of these things at any given time. And he must move his fox, his chicken, and the grain across the river safely. But if he were to leave the fox alone with the chicken, well, the chicken would be eaten. And if he left the chicken alone with the grain, then the grain would be eaten. How would he get all three creatures, two creatures and the grain across without losing any?
okay. So first, he takes the chicken across. He goes back. He grabs... He grabs the fox, takes the fox across, takes the chicken back, grabs the grain, takes the grain over, then goes back, grabs the chicken, and takes the chicken over. So, like...
Wow, you're not as dumb as you look. All right, very well, very well. You win this round.
Round.
This round! We said one game!
He sort of giggles and he says, "Yes, you didn't think it was that easy, were you?"
I kind of
All right.
did, to be honest.
All right. If you get one more question right, then you get to go free.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for this one?
Is it the one about filling up the water jug? Because I know that one.
Don't say that you know it already.
Okay. The poor have it. Rich people need it. If you eat it, you die. What is it?
Nothing. Dun, 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 dun.
He sort of sits up, right? And as he sits up, he's sort of like, no, this can't be. He sort of slams his hands down, and you guys on the outside can hear the some books toppling over. And he goes, "No, this is not right."
Tiny
Instead of-
Steve is smarter than Gerald.
Kind of says, "Fine. Well done. let it not be said that... Did we get a name for this guy, by the way?
Steve.
No, not
Oh,
so.
that's Tiny Steve.
So this guy's name is also Tiny Steve?
Yes.
Yeah. Just Steve. It just says Steve.
No, Tiny.
Okay. Let it be known that the great and powerful Steve is a creature of its word. And he sort of picks you up, flies you over to the window.
All right.
You don't, however, land in the river. You do land on the bridge.
Okay.
Or in the little pathway.
No,
Oh,
we
okay.
catch him.
We'll go find.
We
well,
don't
he
know.
flicked him outside.
No,
we're
you guys are on the other side of the
Oh.
door.
Do we
Yeah.
know that he just got flicked out the window at all?
You do not. All right. Meanwhile, Arthur has returned. Hi, guys.
Hi.
All right.
Welcome back.
Well, I have the keys, but there's this gentleman that wishes to obviously see you. All right. At this point, we have a picture that I sent to the editor. It was the last one I sent in the chat.
There's just a
That's
very
the one.
large noise from behind there. I'm worried about Tiny Steve.
I heard him scream.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. You see this individual walking next to him. Ah, yes. These are the people I was telling you about. These are the Howlin' agents. Howlin' agents, allow me to present Ramoska Arkminos.
Hello, Mr. Agmanos.
Hello.
He kind of looks at you really kind of glaringly.
I love your
Zoink.
coat. Let me tell you.
Thank you. That is most kind.
It is very pretty.
Your friend, he tells me that one of you were thrown into my private sanctum.
Yes.
Yes, and then we heard some loud banging. It sounded like some books were being destroyed. We just want to get him out. It was an accident.
It was my fault.
Roll a bluff check.
Oh, and Gabi's rolling a
Oh
ball.
god, you should have you should have let her talk. Oh god. Oh.
11.
Wait, can she
Instead of-
wait, you should say something too.
Sort of raises an eyebrow.
Yes, really,
Is
don't
that
listen to him.
right?
He was not a part of this. It was all me. I got angry. I have anger issues. And I threw him into the window. And
Okay, you can roll a bluff check.
okay. Oh, I was like, where? Well,
How's that even luck?
What's your bluff?
wasn't it like
It's plus 12.
it was 12, so 14.
What would you roll?
2.
2?
All right, at this point, Ramoska stands really tall with a kind of really glaring face at you. He bursts open the door, like he just sort of thrusts it open. And the place is perfectly clean. The gargoyle is back on his perch. There's nothing wrong.
Can I use like
Ramoska
quick
says,
wits in this situation to determine? Like, is there like a roll for that?
What?
you see what you see. How you interpret it is entirely up to you.
Wait, it was.
It's a practical joke.
Yeah,
Got you.
got you. Just a little living to the not kind of living joke.
He sort of
Housewarming.
raises his hand, and as he does, everyone can make me a will save. Except for Geralt.
Oh yeah, and then you'll add your
10.
will to it.
Oh, my computer died. Do you remember what it was?
I think it was 4. Maybe it was 5. It was 4 or 5.
We'll say 4. 14.
Yeah. 14.
14.
Dobby got to 15.
Khalil rolled a natural 1.
all of you find that you are unable to move. Like your body's almost paralyzed mid-word as he's raised his hand. If you want to roll a spellcraft check, he's got mass hold person. No, it's fine. You'll get it. You'll know what it is as soon as he uses it because it's kind of obvious. And he has cast it while it's silenced, so he can't. He's not speaking. He sort of says, "I am glad everything is in order, but you three, do not return to my sanctum."
Okay.
And he sort of gestures you to leave.
Right.
Does he release the hold person?
He does.
Okay.
When he
He's like, you can leave. I said you can leave.
Are you defying me? Murder. Yes, you are able to leave.
Okay, we'll leave.
Were we inside the sanction when he told us to leave it, or were we still outside of it?
Yes. Now, before you leave, you do have an opportunity to do a number of things. Firstly, you can make a perception check to notice things around you.
7.
19 for Cleo.
19?
23 for Darby.
What was my perception?
All right.
Thank
Oh,
you.
it was low. It was really low.
Yeah, it wasn't very high. I think it was like 2 or something.
I think it was 1.
Yeah.
It might have been.
So I have 8.
Yeah.
Okay. On the way out, you notice that there is a journal on a desk. If you wish to, you may attempt a sleight of hand or a bluff check to try and grab hold of the journal on your way out.
Darby's gonna do sleight of hand, but specifically I'm gonna try using my tail to grab it.
Okay, Sorora, if you wish to, you can also use a bluff check to try and distract Ramoska as you're walking out. But you gotta kind of say something.
Oh no!
So I have a.
Just don't say anything. Just don't say.
I did not bluff.
I just compliment his jacket again.
What'd you get?
I rolled a natural 20 on my sleight of hand, and I get +8.
All right, Darby reaches for the book, and as he does, Ramoska moves towards the group. And as he does so, he walks literally right up to Sora, inches away from Darby. He removes his jacket and puts it on Sorora.
Free jacket! Do I say something? Thank you. I love it. You're a gracious host.
Very generous of you, Sir Ogmenos.
He sort of looks at you all and he sort of says, "Now leave me be."
Of course, we apologize for the... Yeah. Goodbye.
All right, you leave and the door closes. You breathe a massive sigh of relief.
Did Arthur stay with us that whole time, or did he leave afterwards?
Arthur was outside.
Okay.
Arthur sort of sees you emerge and he says, "So, where's Tiny Steve?"
He was never there in the first place.
All right. At this point, Geralt, covered in dirt, sort of arrives.
Hi, Geralt.
Hi, everyone.
Where have you been?
Tiny Steve!
No, my name is Geralt. Who's this Tiny Steve you speak of? I don't...
Oh, they've been calling you Tiny Steve.
Yes.
Yes.
They must
just
be
assume I
mistaken. They must
misheard.
be...
Sometimes I hear Geralt as Tiny Steve.
No, this was all a funny practical joke. Ha ha ha!
That's a good one. Sometimes I wish Valentine had that kind of humor. Once we played a practical joke on him. We put a large fart cushion underneath him. Oh, he was not impressed. He kind of...
You know what's a good thing to add to the fart cushion is fill it with chocolate pudding.
Yes, no, well, the fart alone kind of saw Well, we basically got served gruel and bread for like a month. So
I'm sure
he
it
did not
was
take
very
that well.
It sounds hilarious.
Yeah, well, he's a nice person, but yeah, not a joking sort. Well, I'm glad that you found your friend. If there's anything else, feel free to let us know because, obviously if we're working on this thing together, then, I don't want to let you, go or do anything. And, I feel like there's a strong connection between me and you guys because you guys are awesome. And I think that, it's a really good chat. At this point, you see behind him walking down the corridor is Valentine, who seems to be walking very sternly towards Arthur. And Arthur looks back and he's like, oh, shit. Okay, bye, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Come on, hop to.
He's my favorite.
And he runs. He basically is sprinting from Valentine. Valentine sort of power walks past you towards Arthur. All right, guys, and that, sadly, not on a cliffhanger, is where we will leave it. But I will add this little tiny bit extra, and that is, of course, as you look through the journal notes of Ramoska Arkminos, you find a few different troubling notes. The first alluding to a secret laboratory beneath his study, where he is apparently researching lots of missing people. The second is apparently he saw someone rummaging through his chronicles and wishes to change the entrance mechanism, having the beast creature loose on the experimental lab, saw the destruction of some of his materials, and he needs a better security system. He also says the testing phases and corpses should be ready by the Blood Moon Ball. And that he was meeting with a member of the member of the Principality, one Count Karamak, for securing fresh supplies.
Meeting with Count Karamak?
Yep. And that is where we'll leave it, as we know very little about what's going on. So, who is Count Karamak? What kind of sordid experiments is the sinister Ramoska Arkminos doing? What does he mean by fresh supplies? We will find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. No, on Tales from the Undertaker. And I think we have the exit Duba Milwaukee thingy that's going to happen.
Yes. The
outro? There we go. No?
Yeah.
There we go. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. If you were with us live, we love having you guys live. Again, normally we do the plot twist things maybe 2, possibly 3 times a session, but today was all about meeting our newest member, Madison, who thank you very much for joining us. And, of course, thank you very much to everyone, because obviously Madison is quite a new player. But we as a gaming community are very understanding and very forgiving of this fact, and we are very supportive as individuals, and I'm so glad to see everyone stepping up and helping her out. So thank you guys in the audience. Thank you guys at the table as well. How did you guys find it? Yeah, you guys have fun?
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very different than the last couple ones that were a lot of...
A little less clericy for some reason.
Yeah.
Less clericy?
Less clericy for some reason.
Yeah, a little less clericy. Yeah, it just kind of feels
there
a little...
There was no channel divinities at all.
Well, I mean, no one actually asked what Madison was, because, I mean, just saying, I mean...
She described herself as a druid.
Yeah.
She did. No one said she was, though.
No, that's true.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Clerics can dress themselves however they want. So maybe, yeah, that's something for next time. Find out what exactly Madison is. Okay. Madison, how did you find your session? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was super interesting. Thanks for helping
to
me.
keep these guys in check.
Yes.
Yeah. You could see very easily how they get themselves into trouble, and it was good to see that.
I think we should befriend him.
I think you guys did spectacular, and I love the fact that Madison, Sorora is like one of the best liars in the group. like I'll admit I wasn't really expecting that at any point. I was like, okay, cool. So she's probably gonna be a cleric, probably healing, probably diplomacy and stuff like that. And then it's like, hey, look over there. I rolled a 17. I rolled a 24.
But then I kept rolling ones.
I guess I look over there then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that was good. It's good. It's always fun to see sort of characters that sort of push those boundaries and play differently. Because I mean, yeah, no one says that all clerics need to be good at diplomacy. You can have like, what's it called? Passive aggressive liars be clerics. So that's cool. So again, thank you to our cast as always, and of course, big thank you to Eddie, who I apologize. I didn't actually send him any pictures because I wasn't sure what we'd be doing today. So thank you, Eddie, for being so patient with me. It's much appreciated. All right, let's do the outro. So I am, of course, Michael from Ask A Pathfinder. If you wish to contact me, find me out on Facebook /Ask A Pathfinder, or come chat with me directly at discord.me/Ask A Pathfinder. Basically, what I do is I run a free coaching and free article writing service for people who want to get into Pathfinder or any kind of RPGs, or even just brainstorm their adventures, come up with character building, all that kind of stuff. So definitely source me out at those two websites, and I'll usually be good for a chat. Bear in mind, of course, that I am in Australia, so there is time issues. So don't message me at 4 a.m. You will not hear from me. All right, and then of course we have our color circuit lineup. So let's hear from that, guys.
Oh, that's me. That's crazy, guys. Guess what? It's Tuesday, which means tomorrow's Wednesday.
You don't say.
Every time. Tomorrow's Improv Bagel, guys. Also, we started a new thing last week, which is Donuts, Improv Donuts, which is a short form improv comedy, followed by our long-form improv comedy podcast, which is also followed by like kind of just a relaxed improv-y podcast. But the most exciting thing coming from me, guys, this Thursday I'm starting up a challenge series where me and 3 other guys are going to play a game every week. And the winner of that game gets to decide a punishment for the loser to play. So the loser has to go out in public and get like a bunch of like nasty shit or something like that happen to them. And at the end of the month, the one with the most points from that month, like if you win first place, you get 4. If you win like last, you get 1. Whoever has the most points at the end of the month gets to set a punishment for the rest of the 3 people. So it's kind of like an Impractical Jokers meets like a gaming championship kind of thing for 4 people.
Have you guys ever watched Gaki no Tsukai?
No, was that an anime?
No. It's a Japanese variety show that they do every year. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah. I'm not gonna leave it. I'm not gonna say any more than that. If you guys are watching, definitely go check that out. And again,
exactly like
I'd love to see Zach. I'd love to see you go check that out and then come up with some really crazy ideas from it.
Shit, yeah.
But yeah, as they say, there's a ton of really cool stuff. And for those of you not in America, today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday, where they'll be doing all of that stuff early in the morning.
I always forget you're in the future.
I am in the future. That's right. That's why I know what's going to happen to you guys. By the way, Johnny, don't drive home. All right, so.
No, that's scary. You almost got into an accident.
Yeah, actually, I almost did.
Oh, spooky.
Too
All right.
real.
So thank you again, guys, for coming and joining us. From us here at Ask A Pathfinder and, of course, Color Circuit, keep your dice rolling and make sure your ideas stay mindworm free. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.